Okay, we're up and running, I believe. Let me shut that off for a minute there. There we go. We had internet just dropped off there right before it was supposed to start. I went and rebooted the router and came back up. I don't know if it was an internal problem or just bad luck or whatever. Anyway, I had to restart the stream. It's actually a second stream. Hopefully everybody will come around and find it. I'll tell you, this is such a pain in the ass. I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's just starting to really aggravate me a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to say hello. So, amazingly, Gerald Stewart was the first one in, so he gets the cookie. Train Man 1 was the second one in. He gets the half cookie. Glad to see both of you guys. I don't know who's actually here yet. Hard telling. I don't see. We got Thomas Moore. How you doing, Thomas? Good to see you. Got Hot Dog Pilot Andy. Good to see you, Andy. Dwight, how's it going, Dwight? Good to see you. Ray Burleson says, forgot it was Thursday. We'll be leaving shortly to have dinner with my nephew. Haven't seen him in a while. And oh yeah, no problem. Enjoy your time with your family. And if you make it back, we'll see you. If not, we'll see you next week. Who else have we got here? Ken Amos Jr. How you doing, Ken? Good to see you. Gerald Stewart, there you are. You figured it out. I had some internet issues here and had to go reboot the router and restart out here. It was a total pain in the ass. I don't know what's going on lately with the internet. Seems like it's been screwing up more than normal lately. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it's been a crazy day anyway. So, hopefully some more people will show up here before long. Everything seems to be okay on my end. We're in the green. We're not dropping any frames. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope we're good for the rest of the evening. We can only hope anyway. So the good news is we're going to do some assembly today. Not ready to start that just yet, but soon. I have something really cool, Thomas. This is all thanks to you. I have what's known as a screw spike. Coolest thing ever. I'm just flabbergasted with it. I mean, I don't... It's just the coolest thing I ever seen. So, I think I'm going to make a mount for it and hang it up on the wall because, to me, this is rather unique. So, thanks again, Thomas. Really appreciate that. You did give me some other spikes. You know, your basic run-of-the-mill spikes. These are all BNSF, I believe. Some have some, I can't really see too. There you go. They have numbers and letters on them. I'm not sure what that all means, but I'll figure it out at some point. Kevin Beverly, how you doing? Good to see you here. What's that? He says, I got both of the Silver Streak locomotives I got running. I definitely need to get more traction tires for my diesel loc. You should be able to get that at Walther's, I'd imagine, or Train World. Any one of them places should have them. Unless they're really odd. So, we got that. Oh, here's some other stuff. My wife made a trip to the dollar store. I try to keep her away from that place because all she does is spend money. But she bought me these. In scale, they'd be about 8 foot tall. And I'm going to probably do some sort of a Christmas scene this year. I haven't figured out exactly what yet, but I'm going to do something a little different. And that's going to happen, I think, on the 20... Let me see what the date was on that. Sat there and figured it out before. It's going to be on December 21st, because that's closest before Christmas. So I'm going to do something different and videotape it, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, thank you, Gerald. I appreciate that. I should have done that, but I was kind of panicking here. It was already after 6, and I'm going, I got to get back online. Well, that's good, Kevin. I would say things are going fairly good for me, except for those occasional bumps in the internet. That's kind of really pissing me off, but hey, that's life, right? I have no control over that, unfortunately. Is my sound good? No echoes or anything like that, hopefully? I was very careful to make sure everything was turned off. So, well, damn, Gerald, you're right on top of it. I appreciate that, man. You're a good guy. Hey, Dave, BNSFN scale, how you doing? Good to see you here. Now, 5x5, thank you, Gerald. Appreciate that. I'm telling you. I'm getting too old for this happy horse shit, ain't I? Seems like it. Uh-oh, here we have an explanation on the spikes. V is 5 to 11/19 on the spike is, July 11th, 2019. Okay. I was not aware of that. Thank you for that. I'll probably forget it in a minute, but that's cool. Good to know. Train Man 1, how's it going? Hey, I was waiting around the other one. The internet went down. I had to reboot the router, their modem actually, and that was after I rebooted everything on my end over here. Had to run over to the house. That's where the modem is, and unplug it, wait 10 seconds, plug it back in. I'll tell you, it's always something, isn't it? Anyway, oh, by the way, you got the half cookie, Train Man, and Joe got the whole cookie. He was the first on the chat. So, enjoy your cookies, guys. Let's see here. Thomas says, Jim, on top of the road spike is a date spike. Okay, cool. Well, now I know. Kevin said, I get that. My internet is terrible. I joined Mike and James for Off the Tracks Monday once and was surprised my internet held up enough to let me do that. Yeah, every now and then you get lucky, right? So I'm hoping my luck holds up tonight. We'll see. Ever since they did that emergency test yesterday, the internet's been a little weird. It started acting up like first thing in the morning around 9 o'clock yesterday. And it just seems to be going on and off. I mean, it was good for the most part today. It was off all night. So when I woke up this morning, I went to fire up the internet and the other computer, and I'm offline. So after fooling around with it for a while, I'm sure it was just coincidence, but I got it back up and running. And it was actually pretty good so far. Is it water resistant? Yes and no. I mean, once you make something, yeah, it'll resist the water to a point. I mean, if you submerged it, I think it would probably start screwing up. I would be more concerned with heat. Somebody rightly pointed out, I don't remember when or who, that they had regular PLA in the car, like they made a cup holder or something, and it started drooping. So yes, it will be affected by heat. Water, yeah, I think eventually. It's not really designed for outdoor use. So as long as you're indoors, you shouldn't have an issue. Tom Strange and Things. Hey, Tom, how's it going? Has your internet been screwing up the last couple of days? I mean, I'm sure it has because we're on the same system. So, unless, of course, it's on my end with a bad modem, who knows? But all day yesterday it was on and off, on and off. It went off last night around midnight. And when I woke up this morning, it was still off. And I think I rebooted the modem then, and it came back up, and hopefully. Oh yeah, how's Debbie doing, Tom? That was her surgery good? Should have been. Anyway, prayers for her that she's healing quickly. I went through the same thing, so you know. Tom Grassi, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, I did have to restart. Internet went down right before I was getting ready to start, live streaming. So I had to scramble around and restart my modem over in the house and come back over here, reboot everything. Real pain in the balls. I don't use ABS. I don't like the ABS. It's rough on the nozzles, and it requires much higher temperatures. Plus, I'd have to leave the door open while printing because it does emit toxic fumes. So I don't really see any need to use the ABS, so therefore I don't do it. The PLA Plus is fine for me. Internet's always screwed up. Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it, Tom? What the hell? Debbie's doing well. That's good. Good to hear that. So, I'm telling you, it's crazy stuff, man. For you late entries, this is a screw spike I got from Thomas Moore. Really cool. I think I'm gonna hang it up on a wall, make a little plaque for it. It's an amazing thing for me. I'd love to see the machine that puts it in. I imagine it has to, be like somebody's square socket and pushes and screws at the same time. Pretty cool. Oh yeah. Plus, I 3D printed the spike for Thomas, and it never actually showed the lettering on it. This is the file. I copied a file from Thingiverse. I made it bigger because the original one was a little miniature spike. And you can see the difference between them. So I blew it up to a regular size. I'm going to give you both of these, Thomas, because, I have no use for them. Yeah, I would have painted them gold for you, but I don't have any gold paint, so you're on your own on that one. But you can put a coat of paint on there, any color you want, and it'll look pretty cool. So what else? Oh yes, we are going to be building a TD-9 tractor that I 3D printed. I made a whole bunch of changes to it to aid in assembly. That was the big thing because this is the first one I made. And, well, it's not that great. I mean, it's just looks like something. It looked like it'd been in a bad accident and barely survived it. So I made some changes, and we're going to go through assembly today. And we're going to be doing that soon. Hey, Georgia Sunbelt, Anthony, how's it going? Good to see you. So we're going to dive into that here probably in the next 10 minutes or so. And like I said, these will be up for sale as a kit. They will be selling for $15 plus shipping. If you order more than one, the shipping will be the same. So it would make more sense to buy more than one if you need that. They won't be painted or anything else. Strictly kit. I am producing instructions for it with picture references for the assembly. And that'll all be included in the kit. Hey, Digger Evans, how's it going? Digger, I haven't seen you in a long time, man. Good to see you. No, they're not heat resistant, not really. If you get them warm enough, they will start to melt. As I stated, somebody printed something, a cup holder or eyeglass holder or something for their car. And, it gets 160 degrees inside a car on a sunny day. And it started drooping. I would not trust it in extreme heat. It's really not designed for that. That's where the ABS would come in, but like I said, the ABS costs more for the filament, higher temperatures. There's other issues with using ABS that I just don't feel the need for it. I'm not selling prints for use in high temperature areas or outdoor areas where there's going to be exposed to the weather. It's strictly indoor stuff, mostly for, model railroad needs. So, if you're looking for stuff that's weather resistant, you may have to look elsewhere. Let's see, what else we got going? Show the tractor again? Oh, yeah, see. I have a better one, Anthony. We're going to be building it tonight. I've already printed everything, but I'll be going through assembly. But this is a TD-9. It was manufactured in 1942. Oh, it froze up for a minute there. The only thing missing on this one is the string for the cables. I also have a hook for it. Might be a little hard to see. Little grabber hook. That'll also come with the kit. I got to buy a spool of thread. I'll include enough thread to spin around the spools and hook up to that and for the arm itself. Well, it's going to be a complete kit. It'll be nice. DWM Trades. Dave, how's it going, Dave? Good to see you. As usual, we have a club meeting the first Tuesday, so I'll be leaving shortly. It's Thursday, Dave. I think you meant to say Thursday. Anyway, that's cool. You can watch the replay at a later date at your convenience. Anyway, have fun at your club meeting. I don't know if resin is heat resistant or not. I don't really know anything about the resin. I know the resin is not as strong as the filament. Tom Grassi will attest to that. So, each thing has its own strengths and weaknesses. It just depends what you're going to do with it, At some point, I'm going to buy a resin printer, an inexpensive one, because I don't need anything fancy or big. But for some of the smaller pieces that I may wish to print. Now, like I said, I printed this deal here. Well, you can see that. On the filament printer. I was kind of surprised it came out good. Some things you can make, other things you can't. It's just really kind of hit or miss. So we just kind of go with whatever we can get away with. Yes, your spiral spike will melt in high heat. Or at the very least it'll warp. I don't know what high heat is considered. I mean, I would expect that you would have it in your house where you maintain a reasonable temperature to live in. But if you were to put it in, say, in your car, like hanging off your mirror, I don't know how well it would do or for how long. You can always try it and find out, and then we'll know. Hey, if it melts, I can make you another one, Not a big deal. Yes, Tom Grassi can easily make one. He has both resin and filament printers. You'll have to ask him if he wants to make you one and what he'll charge you for it. That's beyond my control, of course. Hey, Joe Rader, Black Rock Central. How's it going, Joe? Good to see you here. All right, I appreciate that, Ken. Like I said, the newer one is much nicer. I made several changes. Now this is just a test one. We're going to build another one from the start to show you how it works. But you can see that the tracks are straight on it. And there's a bottom view of it. Everything's lined up better. I made changes in the way it assembles. And it's going to make a big difference in how it looks when it's finished. And we're going to go through that here in a little while. And go from there. Yeah, I know, Dave. I figured you did. Get your days twisted up? I do that all the time. Don't feel bad. Gerald says resin tends to sag over time. I would guess it would. Like I said, most of the stuff is not designed for outdoor weather use or high temperature, or even probably even low temperature might be just as bad. I don't know. Uh, I have not used anything I printed outside, so I can't really say one way or the other, but I have heard that it will start to malform or deform over a short period of time if the heat gets, like I said, the inside of a car with the windows up on a sunny day can reach anywhere between 160 and 180 degrees Fahrenheit. That's why you hear about kids and dogs and stuff dying in closed cars without the air on. It's too much for any living body to handle. So you figure plastic isn't going to do that much better. Have you ever left a CD on the dash, for your CD player? Yeah, it'll be a little weird shaped after a little while too, because it's plastic and it'll still melt. So the smart move, of course, is don't put it in there. Kevin says my wife's cousin has 2 nice resin printers, and we've been designing things for my flat cars to have holiday trains. That's kind of what I'm thinking about doing too there, Kevin. I want to do something different for Christmas this year. I think the last time I did a Christmas video in the train room was back in Naples, and that was probably 6-7 years ago. So I'm going to do something this year. I got plenty of time to think about what I want to do, and if I have to print something, I can do that as well. And I'll be utilizing the flat cars as well, since they're going to pretty much either flat cars or gondolas. Could be one of the two. So we'll come up with something cool. Hey, we cross train spotter. How's it going, Scott, right? I get the names right eventually. Anyway, it's good to see you here. He says, hi, Jim and everyone. Tomorrow morning I go to see a doctor again, and then I went to see the doctor on Tuesday morning for pain I have been having on the side of my stomach, and have not worked since Tuesday morning. Is it gallbladder? It could also be, what's the other one they take out? Your appendix? Could be either one. I think they're both on the same side, the right-hand side. I had my bladder removed a couple of years ago. Almost 4 years ago. No big deal. Like I said, they do it, they just pop 3 little holes in your gut, and it's called laparoscopic, and they remove the offending organ. And I think they do the same thing with appendix too. I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll be praying for you. Hope you get better soon and it's not anything serious. Let's see. Wigwag Workshop. Hey, Stephen, how's it going? Good to see you here. Everybody's kind of slowly working their way in here. Oh, and Dwight. Hey, Dwight, how's it going? Did I say hi to you already? I don't even remember. Anyway, good to see you here, Dwight. Yeah, my mind's been off in Never Never Land lately. And I'm really far behind in the chat. How did that happen? It's crazy how that works. Hey, Iowa, how's it going? Good to see you here. Iowa Railroad fan. Oh, that's all right. Nobody's ever late. You get here when you get here, and you just kind of, blend right in. Derek Alexander. Hey, Derek, how's it going? Good to see you here. Thomas said, the train car you printed, it was in my mailbox. The package was hot, but the car didn't. No, it wouldn't get hot enough in that respect. I mean, you'd literally have to be right in direct sunlight, and it's probably have to be like 120 degrees plus. Yeah. I'm just saying that, it's not really heat resistant. I mean, or heat proof anyway. Might be heat resistant, but not heat proof. Let's see what else we got going here. Kevin says we're working on graveyards for gondola cars and coffins for flat cars for Halloween. That'd be cool. Now, I'm not going to do anything for Halloween because I don't have enough time, but that's a neat idea. I hope you're going to video that. Post it up for all of us to see it. That'll be fun to watch. I mean, just because, you know. When I'm working on my job, when then and raise up, it's hurting, and sudden moves, it hurts, and I breathe, it hurts. I'm not a doctor, so I can't necessarily say, but it more than likely either that or you bruise the shit out of a rib. You know, that's a possibility too. I've bruised my ribs before, and I'll tell you what, I've never had a broken rib, but I can't see where it's much different, you know. I was in agony when I bruised two of my ribs on the left side, and they were down there with the last two. And I mean, like I said, it could be anything. You won't know until you see the doctor. So just keep your fingers crossed and stay positive, and hopefully it'll all work out fine. Because that could be a bruised rib or even a broken rib for that matter. I know if you have a broken rib, it'll hurt when you breathe. My dad had broken ribs once, and he said it was just terrible pain every time he took a breath. And they can't really do much for that except kind of brace you up, you know, wrap up your rib cage from outside. There's not really any surgery they can use to fix it. So you just have to wait and see, but don't get all freaked up over it, or, you know, start imagining things worse than they might be. And, you know, trust in God and you'll be fine. Hey, Artie. Let's stop bringing the heat back here. I ain't bringing the heat over there. We're supposed to be getting a cold snap here for the next 2 weeks. I mean, the whole country. And they said it was supposed to have the worst winter on record, like in the last 50 years, so we'll have to wait and see it. I don't believe anything the weather says anymore. Half the time they don't seem to know what the hell they're talking about. Anyway, good to see you here. Hey, plumber, how's it going, plumber? Good to see the plumber. Hopefully I don't need one anytime soon. I can do some plumbing myself, but I don't enjoy it. Let's see what else we got going here. Let's try and get caught up here a little bit. Is the 3D printed Pro? No, it's not really. I print at 30%, so if you were to cut it in half, you'd see like a honeycomb on the inside. It's strong. I mean, you're not going to bend it. It's not giving any. But if you were to cut it open, I don't have anything here to show you. But they do that to save on filament, because you could print them solid. It would take forever for one. And it would be nearly indestructible, but, you know, that's not really the smartest way to print things. Small stuff I do solid. Bigger things, I let it do its honeycomb on the inside. Iowa says it's been a long day for him. Well, it's a long day for me every day. I just can't get around it. Anthony, sorry if I miss anyone listening in the gym, loading my truck for a trip. And cooking dinner. Man, you're doing some serious multitasking there, Anthony. Where are you taking a trip to, man? That's what I need, a trip somewhere. Can't afford it, but I'd love to take one. Artie says we had the cold snap last 2 days here, as well as being blown too. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like I said, the weather's been really weird lately. Alright, which one of you guys got T-boned this week? It wasn't me. Don't know nothing about it. Alright, so my day just started. Iowa, been crappy already. Yeah, that kind of sucks when your day starts off like that. But hey, you know what happens. And Ken said, hey, I already don't recommend the T-bone. Mine was well done yesterday. I prefer the medium rare myself. But, yeah, you know. But I'll eat it either way. I don't care. That's cool, Jim. I didn't know there's honeycomb. Yeah, they do that. It's actually structurally sound. Cause it's all crisscrossed in there, you know. And it adds to the strength. Plus, it saves on the amount of filament, which, of course, keep costs down because, you know. No, it's not brittle. Not real. It's like I said, it's like, I can't, I don't have a good example. I'm thinking of something, but that wouldn't be correct. But the way it's designed, it's structurally stronger than it would be if it were, say, hollow. So I don't make hollow things unless I absolutely need to. You know, like, because, like, I don't have one here, but, oh, yeah, I do. Like these cement tanks for the cement car. The inside is actually hollowed out. I've got a nut in there because I weighted these to put weight in the car. But yes, I did set them up so that they have a hollow center. Not quite all the way, but about 3/4 of the way up from the bottom is hollowed out. And these are very strong. So it's just, you know, gotta do what I gotta do. Anthony says, got a 4-day weekend, gonna hang out with my son. Well, that's cool. Always good to hang out with the kids. I don't see my kids hardly at all. I mean, my oldest has passed, and the other one's I don't know if he's a spy or something for the military. We'll never see him probably. And my 2 daughters, well, one's up in Virginia. She's married, got a life of her own. She never calls. And my oldest daughter, April, she's living in Naples. She does get a hold of me every now and then, but, you know, we're just far enough away where I just generally just don't go down there often enough to actually go see her. Plus, she works a lot. So, you know, that's the way things are nowadays, unfortunately, for some of us. Scott says, Digger, I got food poisoning years ago and so sick both ways. I don't think it's food. Still eating breakfast, lunch, supper, sauce. Yeah. No, that wouldn't be, you know, there's a big difference in food poisoning. Been there, done that too. Almost died in the food poisoning I got. I was in a lot of agony, but that was just, the whole thing was way different. That's something you don't never forget. Ken says, sitting here in hospital now, going to be here a few days, got blood clot and lung from knee injury, so keeping a watch on. Oh, that sucks. We'll be praying for your quick recovery and that you get through everything okay, Ken. Artie says, I didn't put my Powerball in last night, missed out on a partial winning. Yeah, well. Easy come, easy go, right? I'm trying to catch up. Hey, Rail Artist, how you doing? Hey, you're in luck tonight. We're actually going to be, well, kind of train related. We're going to be assembling a 3D printed tractor crawler for the layout. So you might be interested in that, so stick around. We're going to start that pretty soon. Alrighty, well, I'm caught up with the chat amazingly. So I gotta make a little room here so I've got a place to work. Move the keyboard out of the way. Move all the spikes out of the way. Move the camera a little bit. And we're gonna point it downward. Okay, there we go. Now, let me move the mic a little bit here so it's more convenient. We got more. You know, it doesn't take a minute to get behind here. It's crazy. Dave says he bought a Powerball, one line, 12 draws. I don't know that much about the Powerball, but I don't play because I don't like losing money. But hey, I hope you do well. No, I did not, Digger. I don't think. I don't recall anyway. So, anyway, I just hope you get well there, Ken, and that's all that matters. All right, says, oh, watch out for the cute twin nurses. They are more deadly than your car wreck. A word from someone who experienced that. Hey, Artie, I don't know about you, man. All right, so let's do some work here. So we're going to start out. We have the tracks, the set left and right, and we have the bottom half of the tractor, which is this here. And in order to get it, because it's kind of difficult to, well, actually, before we do that, we got to add these pieces onto the tracks. I'm getting ahead of myself here. They look like little stop signs. But what we're going to do with these is, now on these tracks, the spoked wheels go on the front. Well, you can see that. There you go. Sorry, you can see it. As this part here is the spoke part. This is the front of the tractor. And let's see, all right. And of course, the multiple rollers in there, if you can sort of, well, this is the back side. They go on the bottom, the two rollers go on the top, so that's one of the first things you need to differentiate. So these here, these act as a spacer. These things here, that little miniature stop sign looking things. And they're going to guarantee that when I attach the body, the lower half of the body to the tracks, everything will be straight. So I'm going to go ahead and put a drop of glue on this. Let's see, is that right? Gotta make sure it gets right. Now this is actually the front. So they're going to go on this side. So this is the front of the tractor here, this part here on the bottom. So we're going to be gluing these spacers on the front. It's not, you don't have to be too picky about it. I just try and center it on there for the most part. Like so. I can't zoom in on this, so I hope you see it all right. Same thing here with this one. All right, well, you should try and keep them level. We're going to give that a few minutes to dry before we go any further, so I'll check the chat again. Oh, nobody's talking. That's a first. Now, like I said, when it's done, this will be the lower assembly. And, of course, this is the bottom where they've got looks like a tow hook on the front. And this will be the front of the crawler. So this is what the tracks in the lower part of the body will look like. Now, I have the upper part of the tractor, which I'm not going to put on just yet, but actually I could actually do this. I put the hood on already. The hood is separate, and it just basically sits right on top of this. That'll be glued in, but I don't want to glue it just yet. Although I probably could, it would probably be easier. So we're gonna jump ahead, and we'll come back to this after I glue this down. So we're gonna put a drop of glue on this. Just a little tiny bit. You don't need a lot. We're going to drop it right on top of there. It's centered up. That's pretty good. Now we'll let that set. And I'm still messing around with the printer. I'm getting a lot of problems with stringing. I'm trying to work it out. I don't know if it's a filament issue or it's some other issue. I got to work on that and try and figure it out. And would you believe my chat stopped again? I think. Yeah, it did. This chat's really pissing me off. I thought I had this fixed. Apparently not. So I'm going to take a break from this right now. I'm going to restart the chat. It'll take me a couple of minutes and I'll be right back. So just kind of bear with me a little bit. It's enough to drive you nuts. Yeah, your chat's working, Ken. It's on my end here. It's a third-party deal. And I thought I had it corrected, but apparently not. I don't know what the problem is. It's just one of those things. Let's see. It's just one damn thing after another. Underscore V. Yeah, that should do it, I hope. We'll find out. Yeah, I do type with one finger, sorry. I used to be a good typist, but after I had the stroke and I lost, for the most part, my ability to use my right hand, now I have to do the hunt and peck thing with typing, so. And unfortunately, it's just the way it is. Okay, we're restarted here. I don't know how long it'll last, but we'll see. Find out. Well, I thought it was kind of weird because I go, wait a minute, how come the chat's not going? You guys are always yakking, so, you know. Okay, here we go here. Dave says, if I win the Powerball, I'll be there. Oh, I guess to go see Artie? Yeah, that'd be cool. You can come see all of us then. Derek says, can't use a wheelchair even if you don't need it. It would be nice to ride around looking at all this stuff, and most people will get out of here. Yeah, most, but not all. There's always some jackass there that just doesn't give a shit. Not that I would know personally, but I drive in the stores. I use the power carts, and I've come pretty close to running a few people over. They see it coming, they just don't give a shit. They'll step right out in front of the cart. Now, if they want me to run them over or not, but one of these days I might just do it. You know, just for fun. Ken said I came away from it with only a messed up knee and no other so far bruises or scratches. Asked my daughter to go down and get photos of the car that they tore it apart, cutting me out. Yeah, I'll bet. I'm glad you're okay. That's the main thing. That's some scary stuff. Well, thanks, Digger. I appreciate that. It's going to be really cool when I get it all assembled here. What's that? We should all get one with a shelf on the back and a motor. Yeah, there you go. Yes, that is HO scale, Scott. Everything I do is pretty much O scale. If somebody needed something, or HO scale rather, if somebody needs something O scale, I could probably do it. If they want N scale or Z scale, probably not. I think I'd even have a difficult printing an N scale, so that's not going to happen. I know your chat's working, Ken. It's strictly on my end. I'm gonna have to figure out something else here. I don't know how or what. Well, I know we're probably gonna do a. Let's see. This is the first week. I don't know, either the second or third week of the month. I'm gonna use StreamYard and probably bring a guest up. So we'll see. Hunt and peck takes me for. Oh, I kind of hunt and peck with a little bit of. I don't really hunt and peck. I use multiple fingers sometimes. But that's if I really know. Like, if I have to read something, that takes me longer. But if I'm writing like a reply or something, I type fairly quick even with one hand. I mean, I'm not doing 60 words a minute anymore. That's for damn sure. Actually, I never did do 60. I think the best I ever did was like 48 words a minute, which isn't bad, but, not really enough to be a secretary. Well, doesn't look good enough for a secretary anyway. So, all right, Plumber, thanks for hopping in, and have a good weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you next time. Derek goes, Ken, that's no way to get a convertible. Well, but it would sort of work a little bit. Ken says, I can honestly say it scared the hell out of me when they had to cut me out. Lots of stuff ran through my mind. When you're trapped, yeah, I'm sure. Thank God I've never gone through that. Hopefully I never have to. Anyway, let's get back to work over here. So this should be pretty well dry now. So what I'm going to do, I'm including in the kit this piece of scrap plastic. And what you're going to do with this, you're going to lay this on your table, and we're going to be assembling this upside down at first. So we're going to put the bottom half, just rest it right on top of the thing here. And like I said, we're going to be doing this backwards, so we're going to have to reverse the track, because they're going to go on the opposite side. Oh, you know what? It's not dry yet. Oh, it did. That wasn't dry yet. This one dry? Yeah, this one's pretty dry. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here for this one first. So we're going to be mounting these tracks on upside down, because the body's upside down. We're going to put a drop of super glue on each side. And we're just going to go ahead and tip it up. Is that right? No, actually, go back the other way. I was right to begin with. They said you got to make sure that all the extra rollers are on the bottom. So we're going to just basically, we're going to squeeze that together, just like so. And it helps if you have something to brace it with. I don't really have anything here. Okay, if you got 1, 2, 3 blocks, that's the thing to use for it. I don't have any. I need to get some. I usually find something heavy enough to kind of sandwich it together until it dries. So that's what's going on with that. Let's go back to it already assembled here. Let's see here. Yeah, we're working on this one. So we've got all this put together now. So now we've got to put the seat on. So this is the seat assembly. The dust off of it. One seat assembly. And it's basically going to go on just like that. Now it's going to have a little bit of clearance between the tracks and the side, and that would be correct. So if it lays flat on the tracks, you done screwed up. So that's why this plastic is here, to give you the exact right height for the tracks in the lower body. So we're going to put a little bit of that's not staying on there really good. I need something heavy to put on. You know what? We get spikes. There we go. Now we got some contact, right? Alright, so we're going to put a little dab of glue on each corner here. Not a lot, just a little tiny dab. We're going to set this right on top of it. We want to center it, and it's actually good and centered right now. So there we go. Like I said, we got a little bit of a gap on there. Here, set out. So we're going to let this dry up. So that's where we're at with that right now. Hope I'm not boring you guys to death with this, but as I said, it's relatively easy to assemble. Rail artist is okay. Back now. Liquid libation in hand, well in a glass. Glass in hand. Enter menu 2. Noodle cancer. Oh, there you go. And Scott says, I've been looking online at utility buildings that are 20 by 20 and 12 by 20. Utility building inside 18 feet and a half long and 9 feet 3 inches wide, and want it longer, more layout, and wider. I could probably print you something like that. I don't know, probably. You'd have to give me an idea of exactly what you're looking for, though. And what windows and doors and all that sort of thing. Because I printed all my buildings. Well, you can't see them right now, but for the sugar plant, those were all printed. So I didn't want to waste money on buying anything that was out there, so. Don't forget to grease the rollers, yeah. Now, since the tracks don't actually move, that really won't be a problem. Let's see. Derek says, Waycross, you want at least 13 feet wide and square inside for 2 30-inch radius turn back curves and a 3-foot aisle. Okay, I'm completely lost, so. It's neither one, Artie. It's actually an international harvester. Well, that's what it's supposed to be anyway. It was originally a D7 from the file that I kind of absconded with from Thingiverse. But I changed the hood design to make it more square because the D7 had a rounded hood toward the back. So I squared it off like the D9 has. And I think, well, and I moved the headlights. The headlights are on the top instead of on the side. So, like I said, it's, it's hard to tell by looking at it what it is. I don't know enough about these things to really, All right, Andy. We'll see you later, man. Thanks for hanging out. And you watch the replay if you're more interested in this, let me know. Anyway, have a good night. We'll see you next time. Bye for now. Artie wants to know, you guys trying to get me fatter with all this food talk. Yeah, I got the same problem, man. I'm not really gaining weight, but I'm not losing it either. I seem to be stuck at 227 last I looked. Not happy. I need to lose about 50 pounds, but I just, real honestly, I don't know how to do it. I don't eat that much as it is. And I'm mostly on a protein diet. So, I don't know. I guess some say the soda makes a difference, but, you know, I drink the ginger ale, whatever it is. But I don't drink that much, so I don't know. And I stopped drinking it for almost a month, and it made no difference. You know, I drank strictly water. I didn't lose anything. So I don't know. All right, which I forgot to bring my big jug of water today, too. I got it at the house. I'm not going to screw with it now, but... let's see what else we got here. Oh, a real building? Well, can't do that. Although, they actually do print buildings, real ones. They kind of use the same concept where they're stacking the cement. It's a neat idea, but of course you're getting solid cement instead of cinder block or wood, but I don't know what the price difference is on. I'm sure it's probably more costly. But you know, they're 3D printing everything nowadays. Okay, yeah, he says, Derek, the utility building I have now in my backyard is 18 feet long and 9 foot 3 inches wide on my NA rail track. My main line is 29-inch radius. I can go to 30-inch radius, 24, 26, 28, 30. Okay, yeah, that's what he was talking about. Yeah, I wish mine was wide. I'm 11 foot wide. I wish it was about 14 or 16. Then I wouldn't have had this stupid tip up. I would have had two loops, one on each side, and be able to walk through there. But can't do it with 11 foot unless I lose a shitload of weight, and that ain't going to happen. And basically, I can't fit through. That would be less than a foot. Would be open between the two loops for me to squeeze into it. It would just be it'd be a disaster. Wouldn't happen. Yeah, I know, Dave. I'm gonna do it here soon. I'm kind of setting up for it. And you did that for what, 30 days, I think? That's I call it the BB diet: beef, bacon, butter, and eggs, no soda. So I gotta get some bacon. I love bacon too. So I gotta have to get some bacon. I eat real butter, and I have all the eggs I could ever want. So I just need the beef, you know. Now the question is, can I get away with, like, I love breaded veal, and I buy a lot of that. So does that count as beef? If not, that's where I'm probably going to run into some monetary issues with it. But you know how that goes. So anyway, we should be somewhat set here. Now, what I did on the tracks, and I'm going to show you this one here. I redesigned the outer part of the track. It's kind of hard to see it there. You see the bar sticking out? And that's actually part of the framework for the crane cage. Now this here is a crane cage. This is a terrible copy. It was very stringy. But for now, we'll use this. I'm going to correct this problem. The first couple I made were perfect, but I couldn't use it because it was an older design. This has been redesigned. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to have, I've got a hole here for the cables to go through. Actually, before we put this on the machine, I also printed these spools. Now normally, these little spools here, there's going to be one on each side. One's for the grabber hooky thing here. That'll raise and lower this. Of course, you'll have to glue it in the position you want it to because nothing works. It's it's a static model. And then the other one, of course, is for the actual arm. I've also modified the arm. This is the arm assembly. It's already been assembled. And I might put it in the kit like this. I don't know yet. And I've got the, like I said, these are just glued in pulleys on the end here. I don't know where you could see them. Come on, focus. I tell you, it's hard to get focused on. There we go. So they're steady in there. They don't move. The top one, of course, is for the hook. The bottom one is for the arm. Now, the arm, this will be fixed. The arm will move up and down. And you can glue the thread in place and how you want it. So if you want it in a down position, you'll just glue it that way. Or if you want it in the up position or somewhere in between, you would set it up that way. Like I said, it's a static model, so obviously not gonna operate. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna squeeze. Like so, normally you would have the thread already put on this, and then slip it in here. We don't have the thread. I have to buy thread. I don't have any. The regular sewing thread will work best. The black. Or you could use silver, whatever you want to use. Now, this is kind of a tight fit. So you have to kind of squeeze it in there. There we go. You want to put them. You want to put them down. Down about like that. That's not focusing that great. Now after you put it in, I will take some of this Bondine and just drop a little bit in there. That'll keep it from falling out. Once you put it in, it's considered a permanent assembly. And you do the same thing for the other side. Same deal, you slide it in there. It's a tight fit, but I designed it that way. Don't be afraid to force it in. It actually holds it in place. And we'll do the same thing. We'll glue it in there with the Bondine. We'll give that a minute to dry. And the bottom pieces of this are going to set. They will set perfectly on the extended bars. So, for some reason this glue isn't drying. I don't know why. I use the Bondine on this. Sticks to my finger, not to its own parts, right? That'll set up. It's really not that hard. It just, I do better when I'm off camera than when I'm on camera. That's just the way it works. All right, Ken. Good luck with the doctor, and we'll see you later, man. We'll be praying for your quick recovery. So have a good evening, and we'll see you next time. Derek says 28-inch radius on 2 loops and 3-foot aisle is 12.33 feet wide. You could cut the aisle down to 2.5 feet and offset the loops, but then you lose the length on one of the sides. That's true. Because I looked at that too, Derek. I could have done the same thing, but I wanted to keep everything kind of even, and I wanted to utilize as much room as I could. So I didn't do that, unfortunately, and I'm not going to change it now. All right, Artie, we'll see you when you get back, man. Have a good one. So, that's like you said, it is what it is. All right, so we could probably go ahead and glue this now. We're going to once again use the super glue on it. I've got some Bondine here. Well, this is homemade. I got this from Curtis from C&L Lines. It does the exact same thing, sort of, as the Plastruct Bondine, except it takes a little longer to dry. It gives you more time to work with your parts. So, I don't know if he's going to try and market it yet or not, but he made some for me, and I'll be using it pretty soon. So I guess I'm kind of the guinea pig for it. So I'll let you know how it works when the time comes. But, because the problem with the Bondine is it dries too damn quick. Okay, so we'll let that glue dry on this. And the next step, although I forgot to put it on, but that's okay. Here's a control bar that goes in front of the seat. I forgot to put it on, no biggie. There's also a hitch. Kind of hard to see. That you can also put on the back of the tractor. That'll all be included in the kit. Everything will be there. Like I said, I'll probably assemble the boom assembly and give it to you like it is, with the pulleys in and all, but the rest of it you'll have to assemble yourself. So I also made this little bracket here that's going to go on the front of the, it's going to be kind of hard to, can't really see it too well either. There you go. This will sit on the front here, and what it is, it's a guide for the boom when it's in the lowered position. And I had to make it separate because this was not possible to print it with that on there. I tried probably 8 different ways to print this as complete as possible, but I ran into more problems than I did without it. So this is the final print on it. Like I said, I just got to get the stringing problem sorted out. It's only on that one piece. Everything else looks pretty good. Derek says, Big Jim, if you offset the loops, then you could use the shorter size past the loop as staging tracks up to 2 feet deep, which could easily hold 10 or more staging. Well, that's true, but I would have had to give up some of my areas to do it. So the way I've got it set up now, like I said, the one side, part of it mimics where I live. Similar. The streets, the cemetery that's across the road. That's about a mile from here, on the other side of Shelton. and then my house and all that other stuff. And then, of course, further down, I went and put some industry in because I was able to do it. But then you get to the other side now. I've got two levels. The lower level, one area is a shopping district, which I really wanted to have something like that. And of course, I had to have a place to put the sugar processing plant. So if it wasn't for that, you would have had a great idea. But and then of course, like I said, my second level, I've got an intermodal on one part. We have a scrap yard, a boat facility. So that kind of ate up all that. There is going to be a staging yard on this side. You can't see, I'm pointing at things you can't even see. Well, anyway, you get the idea. I'll tell you, let's switch cameras here. All right. On the air conditioner side, I'm going to put a third level. Actually, it'll be kind of more of a second level, but it'll technically be a third level. If you're still with me on this. And that's going to be the staging area. So it's going to be maybe about 8 to 10 inches higher than the overhead rail is. So that's going to be the next part of the layout that I put in at some point. Not sure when. But, and I may still have some room to maybe even put a little more industry up there. I'm not sure yet. But like I said, unfortunately, my original track plan, I actually created my own track plan. And it was designed for a 20-foot wide building. It was supposed to be 20 by 30. So 30 long, 20 wide. And they said I was going to have 30 degree radius curves looping around on each side. I would have probably had a peninsula right down the middle. It would have been a whole different deal. But this is what I wound up with. I couldn't get my 20 by 30 building, so I had to make do with what I got. What is that? Oh, let me go back over here. So this is a side, but no, it's not actually. It's right down the middle. And like I said, I've got the dozer turned around right now. It's turned around where the front is facing the layout. And this is going to basically go like this right down the middle. So it's very similar to what, well, you can see the other one here. You see how this one's designed. So it's just that this was sloppy. There was just no good way to build it accurately. So like I said, I redesigned some of the parts, and this is a much better system. It's not 100% according to the original, but it's close. And like I said, it looks better, so to me, that makes it worthwhile. So we're going to give this a few minutes to dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue the boom on. Well, actually, I'm going to glue this. See, I need a pair of. Let me get a pair of tweezers. Get a pair. My fat fingers, you know. I gotta make do with what I could do. But this is going to go right on here like so. We're in the middle. So the boom will have a place to rest where there won't be any sideways motion when it's in a down position. And I should probably go ahead and actually glue that on right now while we're waiting. Just need a little touch of glue here. Okay. hardly see too well. I only put my magnifiers on. I see a little better now. There we go. Got it centered properly now. You want a side boom. You'd have to show me a picture one. I could probably convert this to a side boom. Yeah, that would have been Derek. Well, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. I did, like I said, I took a basic file for the dozer itself, or the tractor, I think they call it a crawler. And then, yeah, I'm going to have real good instructions, Anthony, definitely. Like I said, there are going to be pictures and instruction, word instructions on there. You have to, because if you don't know, you don't really know what it's supposed to look like, and you're going to have some pieces there that are going to go, what the hell is that? So I'm going to have good instructions on there, no problem. Anyway, I designed the crane part. I designed the boom and the upright boom extension, or whatever it's called. I redesigned the hood. Like I said, originally the hood was rounded toward the back and there were no headlights on there. And this is not the best print this winter. I cleaned up the print a lot on there, so the one that's on there now is much better. You got the headlights on the top. The upper part of the body looks like this. And once again, I got this, whatever's going on with the stringiness, I got to clean up. But this is what the top part of the body looks like before you put the hood and the seat on there. And I think this one here, yeah, see how stringy this one is before I cleaned up the other one. There's something wrong with my settings, and it just started doing it because prior to that, I was getting perfect prints. So something happened, I got to figure it out, and of course, the side booms are used on wreck cleanup and for pipe laying. I'll look into that, Joe. I'm sure I can, like I said, make something that will look similar or even hopefully exactly like the original. I'll check that out for you, and I'll let you know if I come up with something. Yeah, that was brought up. I don't have a file for the front blade. I'm sure I could get one. I mean, if there's interest in it, I'll make sure I get one. And like I said, it'll be like a 2-in-1 kit where you can either put the crane on or just use the front blade. The only thing I absolutely will not do is a backhoe. That you're on your own with. I'm not even screwing with trying to make a backhoe attachment. But I wouldn't mind I would do the dozer blade as a possible attachment to put on, either with the crane or even without it. That's something I'll look into, and that price would be the same. Like I said, $15 for the kit. Comes with everything you need except for the glue, but I'll even throw in the thread that you can wind the spools with and make it look realistic. You'll just have to assemble it, paint it, and you'll be good to go. And like I said, I'll definitely include a good set of instructions with it. So like I said, if anybody really wants it with the blade, shoot me an email and let me know, because I can find a file for it, or worst comes to worst, I'm sure I could design one. But I'm sure there's plenty of files out there for a blade. Yeah, but you'd have to let me know. Otherwise, it'll be just strictly this way, as a crane. This would be great like in a scrap yard, or even like for loading wood, before it's cut, lumber, trees rather, to move trees onto like a flat car. It would be good for anything like that. That would be a good application for it. Now, if you wanted the blade on it, obviously you'd want it for more of a construction site. So it would be good for that as well if you had the blade. So we'll figure that out. Fucking thing stop again, son of a bitch. Sad news: Dick Butkus just died at 80 for the football fan. Oh shit, Dick Butkus. God, I haven't heard his name in forever. It's too bad, man. But 80 years old, he had a good run, I guess. So that's cool. Seems like everybody's dying lately, But they were all getting to that age where it could happen at any time, I suppose. Yeah, this thing did stop. I don't know why this thing keeps stopping. It is so weird. I actually ran it for almost 4 hours when I first did the redo on it, and it worked flawlessly on my end. And now we're back to, half an hour, it locks up. What the hell? I may just look at my laptop chat and just go with that, not screw around with it. Dave says, just not this month for me. Yeah, right. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll all be around for at least a few more years. I hope, anyway. Yeah, I just turned 64. Honestly, I'd like to see 90. I don't know if I will or not, but I'd like to see it. That seems to be the magic number in my family is, 90, 91, that seems to be it. I don't think anybody's made it past 91 in my family line. But then on the other hand, well, my mother didn't actually die. They killed her in the hospital, but she made it to 80. I mean, she might have lived a lot longer had they not, gave her the morphine, because she's allergic to morphine, and that's what killed her. But, and of course, that's a big thing, too. You stay the hell away from doctors and hospitals. You live longer and be healthier, if you can help it. I mean, I know there's sometimes you can't, but personally, I'm scared to death of the hospitals. It seems like they're more interested in killing you now than they are in saving you. I'm sure it's not that way everywhere, but how do you know? It kind of sucks. All right, so we're over here now. We got this going. So we could probably go ahead and what am I going to have here? Well, I can put a drop of this stuff on. If you put a blob of this stuff on it, it won't dry too fast. But you have to really put a big blob on it. And it still works fast. So we're going to set that right there. It should only take about a minute. And there you go. And really, that's about all of it. I mean, as far as this is kind of simplifying it, but like I said, I started this here. Of course, you have to be careful that you don't. I just did. It popped right off. So basically what you got here, like I said, with that guide, it's actually straight. Kind of hard to tell there, but so it's actually level with the tracks. So when you put the other one on, you're going to get a good looking assembly that's level, because like I said, the problem with this one, it's not really level. See how kind of all wonky it is? So with this new design, you're not going to have that problem. And like I said, I'll include this piece here as a leveler when you're putting the tracks on. After the tracks are glued, you toss that part, you don't need it. use it for something else. I don't care, but so basically you're going to be getting the tracks, the lower part of the body, the upper part of the body, which we'll just set on here like this for now. You're going to get a seat, which I don't have an extra one here right now, but you get the seat, the cage, the spools, the boom holder that goes on the front of the cage. You'll get the whole boom assembly, and you'll get this little grabber thingy here. And like I said, you can attach that thread to that, and you can decide how you want to do this. Whether you want, it'll go up this high. They can, you know, you don't have to necessarily, you could glue it up there, but you could also adjust your, they said the lower pulley, the thread is going to attach anywhere here on the far end of the boom, and you could just make that length the way you want, you know, and it'll stay there. Or you could set it all, however you want to do it. And then you could have your hook either high or hanging low, however you want to do it. But it's a neat little setup. I think it's going to look nice. And like I said, you know, traditionally these pieces of equipment are generally yellow. However, they also use orange. And I believe they use like a green, a certain green. Didn't International have a green as well, I think? So yellow, like an orangish color, and green would be your three main colors that you, and you just literally shoot the whole thing, you know. Of course, you might want to, well, you probably want to paint the cage and the spools before you assemble it. Because like I said, you're going to want to wind your thread on the spools and then bring it up underneath and through, actually through the back here, and attach it, you know, go over the pulleys and then wherever you need to go. Because once you put your thread on there, you don't want to try and paint it. You want to paint the cables, you don't want to do that. So, but I'll make all those notes in the instructions. So it's going to be a nice setup, I think. Let's see what we got here. Alright, so Kevin says, I remember watching a video of the locomotives called Madam Queen being moved, and I believe they use side boom crawlers to help. Yeah, they do. Yeah, that would make sense. Kevin also said, I'm not a fan of hospitals or needles. I broke my finger and cut it to the bone a couple of weeks ago and had to go to the hospital and get stitches. Yeah, I've done my own stitches, believe it or not. I've done them on myself, done them on others. I really don't like doctors. I really, really do not like doctors. So I try and avoid them at all costs. Alright, so anyway, this is your setup, pretty much glued up now. And it looks pretty good, you know. It's not all wonky, it's pretty straight. And I think you'd be happy with it. So, yeah, my email's down on the bottom there, right there. Drop me an email if you're interested and we'll talk. Like I said, price is $15 plus shipping. The more you buy, technically it's cheaper because the shipping's going to be the same whether you got 1 or 20, you know. So, and actually my wife bought also from the dollar store. My wife got these here. They're Ziploc portion packs. And they're pretty slick. Gotta pull one out. One of these bags will fit the whole model in, you know, before it's assembled. So they'll come in this bag, and of course, it'll be shipped in a box, a small box, so it'll be safe to get it. And like I said, each one will be individually packed. So, pretty slick. Alrighty, so you're ready, you're taking off. Alright, well thank you, Joe, appreciate it. And have a good night. We'll see you real soon. Damn, this just drives me nuts with this chat locked up. let me go back here to my ugly mug. There we go. So that was, we did something different tonight. I think this is the first assembly I've ever done live. But, you know, I just thought it'd be fun to do, and, you know, I didn't really rehearse for it, so basically, even though, like I said, I built the original one, the yellow one, but I didn't like the way it came out. It just looked stupid. So I said, you know what, I'm going to make changes. And I'm notorious for that anyway. It's the same thing with, you know, Dave Thurber's not in here tonight, but I've been working on his syrup car. And I don't like this. It just looks like shit, you know. I don't know why. It just didn't come out the way I wanted it to. It's too light. So I built another one. Actually, I've been working on a couple of them. This time I put slots in the bottom for these weights. Of course, I don't have any cut off, but these are wheel weights. And it'll hold one sideways and then one over here sideways to give the car some weight. Now that's what I did on this one, so I already put them in. And what I did is I made covers for filler panels, these right here, that, well, they're stiff, so I mean they go in there, but they slide in there and they go almost all the way down, and I'll sand off the rest. And then you'll have a permanent weight in this. Like I said, I made changes in the way I put the rails in. I now have holes in there to mount the rails in on each side. And this way now I'll have a straight rail in there. See, I also did the same thing with that one. Now, wait, see that. There you go. So until I get this the way I want it, I'm not going to attempt to sell it to Dave. I know he's waiting forever for these things, but you know, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get stuff done. It's the same thing with my crossing gate. Now, I still got to paint this one up. I haven't had time to fool with it, but I'm going to get it painted probably this week and get the lights mounted in it. And like I said, the biggest thing I've got to do is the coating for the Arduino board and the sensors to make it work automatically. So that may take a while. It could be another month before these are done. Hell, it could be longer. I don't know, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. Let's see. Kevin said, I work in an RV factory. We built a big fifth wheel, something or another there, and we were putting the RV together, and my finger got smashed between a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood and the frame. Oh, that had to hurt. All right, Dave, thanks for hopping in, and have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time. Yeah, Derek is right, Kevin. It's injuring your hand or fingers. It's not fun. Yeah, I saw that one, Thomas. I actually saw that before you sent it to me. It was kind of funny. But that happens more often than not, believe it or not. I mean, sometimes you just forget to lower the box, you know. The dump truck's going down the road, the box is almost all the way up, and it's going to catch something one way or the other, you know. Whether it be an overpass or a high tension electrical line, it's going to get something. And I've seen videos years ago where the trucks, they had their dump box up and the guy hit an overpass. Well, did a lot of damage to the overpass, but it did even more to the truck. It about tore the box off. The cab actually, you know, when it grabbed the truck, the front of the truck went up the front end of the truck actually hit the underside of the overpass, smashed the cab up. The guy lived through it. But man, what a mess. You know. And unfortunately, you know, that you can't fix stupid. It's just one of those things. But you know what? I'm going to restart this thing one more time. Let me get it up and going here. Give me a minute here. Hey, it's enough to drive you nuts. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Where'd my keyboard go? All righty, let's see. Oh, man. All right. Okay. Four. B. 7K. All right. Connect? Maybe. Will we connect? Maybe, maybe, maybe. Why not? Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, we're back up and running again. Where's the thing now? Hey, it's enough to drive you nuts. All right. Let's see. Scott says, Jim, is there any HO scale manufacturers like Walters, Atlas, or Aether that have tank cars built late 60s or 70s for operation? I'm sure there are. I'm not familiar with them, but I am sure there are. You'd have to do a little research into it. You get on the Walters. So Walters would probably be the most likely one to have it, I would think. Could be wrong though, I don't know. Let's see. The 3D printed PLA is thermoplastic. I have no idea, Thomas. That's what they call it. And I use the PLA plus. What the hell the plus even stands for, I have no idea. Thomas wants to know, is scale bigger than HO scale? That doesn't actually make sense. Is what scale bigger than HO scale? You're gonna have to rephrase that one, Thomas. Gerald says, we had a cool idea for a specialty box car during Tom's live stream. You should put a big Color Guard logo on it. Make the cart the same colors as the Color Guard box. I don't remember what the Color Guard box looked like. I just did one like 3 months ago. I'm sure I could find it though. That's kind of a cool idea. That'd be easy enough to do. As long as we don't put a big asshole on it. Did you guys see that, by the way? Oh, S scale, Tom. S scale is way bigger than HO scale. Well, not way bigger, but it is definitely bigger than HO scale. I would think that if you had a 1/64th truck, like a semi truck, they're pretty big. That would probably fit. That would it might be a little bit too big, but that's going to be close to S scale. Oh, thank you, Derek. I appreciate that. Kevin says the hardest thing now is feeding and burping my 6-month-old dog. Oh, congratulations on your 6-year-old. Been a long time since I had anyone that small. Oh, my kids are all middle-aged adults now. That's scary, isn't it? But you know, my first daughter, April, we had her when I was 18. I got married at 17. And my wife got first wife got pregnant shortly thereafter we got married. And then all the kids, well, my daughters came first, April and Nova. The girls are a year apart. And 2 years later, I had my oldest son. And then a year apart, once again, I had my second son. So, and then I do have a fifth child from another woman after I was divorced, like a couple of years after I got divorced. And he's, I think he's 29 now, I think, 29 or 30. And he's my youngest. He was born in 1990. So, you know. Yeah, that would be a shitty car. Still cool, though. I'm sure there isn't one anywhere. And that's the whole thing, to have something that, is not being produced. I could make those. I could easily detail it, decals and all. I might just go ahead and do that. Because I've got the files to print box cards, you know. So it wouldn't be that hard to do. Yes, that's true, Kevin. S scale is between HO and O. So I said, I think it's probably 1/64th scale, maybe. I'm not sure. Or maybe 1/60th. I have no idea. You know. Gerald says Tom has one. Tom, you got one? Well, he must have made it then. I don't think they sell them, or do they? I don't know. Scott says I looked online for HO scale tank cars and saw on Walmart, and Walmart selling HO scale freight cars and locomotives. That's got to be online only, because they certainly don't have them in the stores. That's something to look into. Like I said, I have this one here. This would actually be, I think this is from the 50s. But this is a 10,000 gallon tanker. And I think this was, shit, what was the year that was made? I think it was made maybe 57 or 59, I'm not sure. They're a little shorter than the modern tankers. Well, this one isn't finished. I said I got to put the steps on this one yet. I made one of these and gave it away. And put the ladders on it. So I just haven't gotten around to finishing this one yet, but I need to get cracking on it. Now these I can make all day long. And they're not bad. They said it's a nice little car. It's, not too fancy. It's got the placards built into it for hazardous materials and whatever. One on each side. See it there. So, if you can't find what you're looking for, let me know. I could probably make you one. S is 1/64. I call that one right. Well, thank you there, Derek. I kind of thought it would be. Gerald said I just sent you an email on the cold roll. I gotta check that. Let me access my email here. My phone's been giving me a lot of problems lately. Maybe there's nothing in the inbox. Oh, you know what? I have to change. There we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. They don't make nothing simple, you know? The password. I think that's the password. Nope, not right. I'll tell you what. That's right. That's still not right. I don't know what the hell it is. Let me check it out on the email here on the computer. Hang on just a second. I'll look at it. I can't bring it up on the phone, but I'll look on a regular email. Come on. Damn stuff. Oh yeah, there's Dick Butkus, Chicago Bears icon. Dies at 80. That's a shame. Rest in peace, Butkus. You know, I was younger, I used to make fun of that name all the time. Probably shouldn't do that, but I couldn't help myself. There you go. Get ready to scream with Call Guard. Okay, that's just for the logo. Then they don't actually show a car here. There it goes. I wonder if Cologuard sells the old poop for fertilizer or shares it with the government so they have your DNA. I wonder that too, you know. It seems like all these things now, they want IDs for everything, you know. Hey Corey, how's it going? Good to see you here. And Corey says probably both, Derek. At least they're selling your DNA to an organization that's full of shit anyway. Yeah, he got that right, you know. Now, what the hell did I just do? They want to. Oh. Shit, I lost my train of thought again. I hate when that happens. Oh, I got a new doctor because I was having a problem getting my insulin for my diabetes. So I went and seen a new doctor, the family doctor, because there's no actual diabetic doctors in Sebring. It's weird, you know, you'd think there'd be one because everybody's diabetic, it seems like anymore. Like, was it 1 in 3 people are diabetic? Yet there's no doctors. But anyway, so they wanted all this fucking information. You know, they wanted to know my family history, what diseases my dad had, how long. You know, what does that even matter? You know, it's not him here, it's me. You know, this is what I've got. This is what I've had done. You know, this is what's wrong with me. It's weird. The cartoon box character would look cool on a box car. Yeah, well, I'm going to do one. You know, I'll have one made before the next live stream. You watch. You guys are killing me with these projects, but I don't care. I'm going to do it. So anyway, so the last thing they did at the doctor's office was, he says, can you come up here and stand so we can take your picture? And I'm thinking, I don't really care, but why do you need my picture? I guess that so they can, because even Deb wanted to know. My wife says, well, why do they want your picture? Probably so they can identify the body if they find it somewhere. And they don't have any ID on me, you know. I don't know what the hell the deal is, but Corey says Uncle Sam should already know if I have polyps. He gives it to me with no Vaseline, so he should be able to feel them. Yeah, unfortunately, we're all in that situation. I'm really getting tired of getting bent over and taking it dry, you know. That sucks. But, you know, they're going to, I mean, everything they do, you know. And you think when you go, like, if you get your blood work checked, oh, you know damn good well they're doing DNA tests on your blood. So chances are the government has DNA samples on every living person in the United States that's ever been to a hospital, you know, or a doctor. Which, I kind of have an issue with that, but what are you going to do, you know? Corey says, haha, Derek, the lube Nazi. That's the problem, though. You don't even get any lube with it. It's bad. It really is. But what are you going to do? You guys keeping up with politics today? I hate to drag politics in this because we're supposed to be talking about trains, but just briefly, you heard that they fired the Speaker of the House, McCarthy. And there's a lot of rumor going around that they're going to try and nominate Trump to be the Speaker. I don't know if he'll take it or not. It would only be temporary because he's still running for president, you know. But for the next year, he could still be Speaker of the House. He might actually get shit done. But I don't know if he can actually get in, or, you know, because it takes both parties to vote in a new speaker. And I'm pretty sure most of the Democrats aren't going to go along with that. Matter of fact, the White House is shitting themselves over it, which they need to. Yeah, you're right. Trump for speaker, you know. I'm all for it. I think he'd do a good job, just temporarily, you know. What's that? Trump, of course, he'd be third in line for president, too. So, he even said that if he took the job, one of the first things he would do would push for the impeachment of Biden. And it wouldn't be too hard to impeach Harris at the same time, because she's just incompetent, you know, a cackling whore. So, hey, get rid of both of them, guess who's the president? Yeah, and you can't cheat through that one. That just happens automatically, you know. I mean, I think he's going to win anyway, regardless, but, you know, they say he's so far ahead of everybody. There's no point even having a primary election because he's going to get it, you know. What is he, like 60 points ahead of DeSantis? And DeSantis is down in the teens. And the rest of the guys, they're all single digit, you know, in the polls. So really, they're just wasting their time and money. They should all drop out and say, you know what? We're going to support Trump. He's going to be the nominee. You know. I don't know what will happen with that, but it's going to be interesting. That's actually technically true. That's why I was hoping that, because they were talking about this before McCarthy got in. And I said, you know, if they put Trump in there, he could have served a little over 2 years, still ran for president, and got into the 4-year term. You know, it's a loophole, sort of. Because they can't just make a president for 2 years. That ain't going to work. So, yeah, we'd get 6 years out of them. That would be great. And I'll tell you what, though. The Democrats are shitting themselves. Look, they need a color guard. They're probably the ones filling up the color guard box card. They're shitting so much. They are terrified of Trump, and they need to be, you know. But, you know, he's going to get in there one way. The only way he's not going to get in there is if, you know, they 86 him. But I don't see that happening. I think God protects him, and, you know, I think he'll be okay. I hope, anyway. And if they did take him out, you know, that would automatically start the Second Civil War. You know, there's just no way the American people, we would know, you know. And there would have to be retaliation of some sort. Corey says, absolutely, Derek, that would be awesome. Of course it would be. And Kevin says, yeah, something like that can happen. Yeah, it can. Like I said, I don't know. They've asked him about it, but he's kind of, you know, saying, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And he's being very cryptic about it, but that's kind of smart in a way, you know. I think they're doing the nominations tomorrow, I think. Friday, I believe. And it's him and there's 3 others. The 3 others are basically traitors, you know, rhinos. So I think that, you know, if he accepts it, if they actually nominate or vote him in, and he accepts it, we would be in a good position, you know. Now, you guys heard that, I don't know how true it is, because like I said, you can't trust the news anymore, but there's a story on the news saying that Biden has been forced to start building the wall again, especially in Texas, because, you know, all the Democrats are crying about the illegals now that they have to deal with them. And I think it's funny as shit. But I'd rather see money go into that fence than go to the Ukraine, because the Ukraine is none of our business. They're going to lose anyway. You know, there's no way the Ukraine can take on and beat Russia. It's just not going to happen. So, well, they're going to try and cheat, Kevin, but you know what? Trump is ready. And he already said that. He says, yeah, they're going to try. but they're going to fail, you know. Um, I'm sure that's only one of her issues. She's probably got that, Hep C, and God knows what else, you know. That woman ain't right, man. You know, heels up Harris. Funny how they make fun of her, but well, that's true, Derek. But you know, that's one of those things. Here's a good analogy. Remember when that woman sued McDonald's for spilling coffee in her lap in her car? She sued them for what, like $5 million or $3 million? I don't know. She got a lot of money. All right, but that was the first and last time that'll ever happen. It'll never happen again because the jury won't go along with it. And that's assuming the judge would even take the case, which that's unlikely. That was one-time deals. She got lucky, you know, and she had a really good lawyer who milked it, you know. She should have never got a dime. You put hot coffee between your legs and hit the gas. What did you think was going to happen? You know. And of course it's hot because it's hot coffee. It wasn't iced coffee. Of course, if it was, probably set the freezer, you know what. But you know, but that's once again though, that'll never happen a second time. And a lot of these crazy lawsuits where people get millions of dollars, they're one-offs, and that's it. So I think this cheating thing is going to be the same thing. It's going to be a one-off. They're not going to get away with it again. Gerald said the vote is Tuesday. Well, that's the vote. They're going to do the nomination tomorrow, right? I think. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. But either way, I got my fingers crossed. I think that'd be the great. Because really, the other nominees they have, are totally worthless. Jim Jordan is probably the best out of the three, but that's not saying a lot, you know. I don't think he really has his heart in it, so. Well, but it's something, Anthony. I mean, you know, and you know it's just killing Biden to do it, you know. And hopefully they'll continue on, you know. The money we've spent in Ukraine could have built the fence across the entire southern border, probably 3 or 4 times over. Because what did they originally say? It was going to be like $18 billion to build the fence. You know, we've already given over $400 billion to Ukraine. What a fucking waste of money. You know, but the fence is only going to be part of the fix. We still need to have machine guns on the border, preferably automated ones. You know, and for any that actually do make it across, we need to take them out. And that'd be the end of it, you know. I know it sounds cruel, but if we don't protect our border, we don't have a country. And pretty much anywhere else you go in the world, if you illegally cross the border, one or two things is going to happen. You're either going to get a bullet or a lengthy prison sentence. Well, it's going to be one of the two, you know, maybe both. So I'm okay, you know, with doing what we need to do. Gerald says she's a 304. I'm not sure what a 304 is. I know what a 404 is, but I'm not sure about 304. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Corey said, Gerald, he got it. I guess I did. I guess I'm slow tonight. Oh, that's weird. Well, I try to put these things up when they're interesting, so, you know. Of course, there is a big lag between what I do here and what you guys see. I think they might try, Derek, but I don't think they're going to get away with it if they do, you know. Because we're a little smarter this time. I mean, they really did pull a fast one in 20. You know, I mean, I kind of figured they might do something like that anyway, you know. Because let's face it, we left them bare-assed after 16 because they thought Clinton was going to get in. she was a shoo-in. She's going to win no matter what, and she lost and lost badly, you know. So I'm thinking, yeah, they're not going to let that happen again. They're not all that stupid either. They learned from it. We'll just cheat a little better next time. But, you know, I mean, they're ready. You know they're going to try and do the mail-in bullshit because isn't it coincidental that all of a sudden now there's a, you know, what do you call it, showstopper variant that's making everybody mask up again, you know. And who knows how long it'll be before lockdown. I mean, I don't think they're going to be successful at that either because, well, there's going to be a percentage of people that'll go along. I think the vast majority of people are going right here, you know. We're not playing that shit this time. So, we'll see. Yes, Thomas, I will get your package out tomorrow. Don't worry. As soon as I get out, panic goes full. You'll have to show it to us when you get it done. Read 304 upside down. That's right. Oh, okay. It took a minute, but I got it. That's funny. No, it's not 703, Thomas. You get 703 out of 403 upside down. It's letters, you know. Derek said, I heard that Facebook is doing 500 million this year as opposed to 40 million last election. Oh, I'm sure. Well, they're throwing money at they, you know, and I got an issue with that too. How does money affect an election unless somebody's doing something illegal, you know? It shouldn't matter how much money you throw at it. Yeah. Thomas, what are we going to do with you? I mean, realistically, Trump has got the black votes this time, the majority of them. He's got the majority Latino votes. He obviously has white men voting for him, most of them, the conservatives. I don't know about the women yet, because they're kind of iffy on the women because of his stance on abortion. But I don't think it's a no-win situation on that. He can't say he's for abortion or okay with it because he'll lose all the conservatives. But if he says he's against it, he'll lose all the liberals. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see. The good news is most of the Latinos are against abortion. They're very family-oriented. So they're pro-family. And they have a problem with the whole trans deal and everything else. So they're going to vote for Trump. Same with the blacks. You know, the blacks are like, yeah, we've been getting bent over by the Dems for so long. We ain't doing it no more. So I think the majority of blacks are going to vote for Trump. I could be wrong, but that's just the way I see it. So we'll have to wait and see. All I know is the Democrats, they know they're going to lose. All right. So they're going to try and have to find a way to scam their way through, but no matter what, you know, it's just, I don't think the American people will put up with it this time either. And I just read recently that in 20, remember, Biden said he got 81 million votes. Well, I think Trump got 60-some million. Now, you add those together, there were more votes cast than there were eligible voters. That's what I'm saying. There's no way you can say that something isn't right here, you know. If you have 100 votes and there's only 75 people that are eligible to vote, you know if something's going on there, it ain't good. And that should have raised all the flags and forced the government to acknowledge that there was a problem. But, you know, the problem is most of the government is in on this shit. It's like I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, we really need term limits. Well, we all agree that we need term limits on the congressmen and the senators. But Congress makes law. Do you think they're going to write a law and pass it that will give themselves term limits so they'll lose money and power and everything else? It's not going to happen. The only way we're going to get term limits is if the people force it. And we, the people, are going to have to force it because the government's not going to cut their own throats. And that's what term limits, if they try to institute term limits, that's what they'd be doing. So, you got a whole big problem going on there, and I don't know how they're going to do it. Well, that's an interesting bit of tidbit information there, Thomas. Union Pacific and Central Pacific Railroad started building the tracks in 1862, and they finished in 1869. But they used a lot of foreign workers for that. Didn't they bring the Chinese in? Chinese slave labor mostly. Hey, Dwayne, Superior Junction Railway, how's it going? Good to see you here. You missed all the good stuff, so you'll have to watch the replay at a later time. We built a 3D printed tractor that I mostly designed with a crane attachment on it. So we went through the actual assembly of it, and they'll be up for sale. But like I said, you'll have to go back and watch the replay. Derek says Soros should be thrown out of the country and his assets should be excluded. They need to just kill him. They don't need to throw him out. There's a death warrant out for him in Hungary, Russia, and I think 3 or 4 other countries. We need to issue a warrant for him and arrest him, execute him, and seize his assets. He's going to die any time. Now, chances are we're going to let him die. His 2 sons will get all the money, and I guess he's been grooming them to be another, Soros. They need to be taken out, too. The whole family line needs to go away. Some may not agree with that, but seriously, that's the only way you're going to fix it. If we don't start taking care of the evil on this planet, it's going to overtake us. Plain and simple, And we're going to have to get serious with it. Rant. Well, I don't really have a rant today. I could rant about Comcast, but why bother? Thomas said the Chinese built the tracks for Central Pacific. I knew they built something. I thought they built everything out west too. I thought. Could be wrong though. Yeah, from California. There you go. Eric said he has $40 billion set aside if he dies to be used to influence you. Well, of course, that's what I said. We should seize that one. But realistically, we have to take out his 2 sons too. Because they're going to be just as bad, if not worse than him. So they need to go. That's all there is to it. That's true, it isn't, but that's all we got to work with, We're not allowed to torture people. Although I wouldn't be opposed to such a thing, Like I said, when we're doing the hanging, have a 2-stage hanging. The first stage opens up the door a little bit just to choke you out a little bit, then raise it back up hydraulically. Let you catch your breath and do it again. And do that maybe 15, 20 times until you finally, take them out. I'd be okay with that. I mean, it's a little weird, maybe, but hey, the things they've done to the human race, specifically Americans, they deserve a lot worse fate than that. I'm sure they'll get it when they go straight to hell. I'm sure Satan's got a real cozy place for Soros and his family when they get down there. Kevin said, someone told me when the tracks met, they were only 2 inches off from being perfectly run. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. That's back when we actually did things with quality, If they did that today, maybe a mile off. Hey, where the hell's the other end? Oh, it's over down there. Down yonder somewhere, Thomas says, I'm going to make a short of the Canadian Pacific Railroad spike. That'll be cool. I see a lot of your shorts, so I usually comment on them a little bit. I try and catch whatever I can, you know. I don't always get to everything, unfortunately, but, you know, there's only so many hours in a day. I need more hours. What's that, Joe? Bring back impalement. Oh, yeah. Put his head on a pike. There you go. I would not be opposed to that at all. And leave it up there until it just rots and falls off, you know. That's what they used to do in the Middle Ages. You know, they put your head on a pike or hung you, leave you hanging off a tree right at the beginning of the town until you literally rotted off of it. And that was, you know, it was like a no trespassing sign. Come here and do something stupid. This could be you. Hey, it worked for the most part, you know. His ass. I don't know if we want to see his ass. But, yeah. But he's only one of a bunch, though. I mean, you got a lot of people that need to be taken away. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be careful how I word these things, but we got problems here, and they need to do something about it. Is that Thomas? I'm not a fan of Andy Bashir's. I know that name from somewhere, but I don't remember. What's it in reference to? It sounds familiar, though. Like I said, there's, yeah. You have to break up BlackRock and the other company that owns the other half of the world. I mean, you know. And that should have never happened. How is that allowed? How did BlackRock wind up owning like 50% of everything? You know, businesses, they got the money, they got everything. How the hell did we let that happen? That's what I want. Thomas said he's from Kentucky. I know the name from somewhere, but I can't place it. All right, Kevin. Well, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night, a good weekend. We'll see you next time, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, he's teamed up with Joe Biden. Okay. I know the name sounds familiar, like I said, I just couldn't place it. But, you know, they're all full of shit anyway, so it don't matter. Impalement was a pointy fence post up. Well, that's true, yeah. I know. Well, yeah, I guess I went just to the head only on the pike, but oh, Vlad the Impaler, didn't he do that with all his victims? Got the post up their ass, and that's where he sat. I'm okay with that. Hey, I'm okay with anything that, you know. They said a quick death is too easy for them, you know. I think they should suffer a little bit before they die anyway. And impale them while they're still alive, you know. That's gotta not feel good, probably. And Corey says, now you're talking. Exactly, man. Go Vlad. But Vlad the Impaler, didn't they think that he was the original Dracula, I think? There was never any proof of that, but I know he drank the blood of his victims. But I don't necessarily think he was a vampire, but there's some that say he was. Hey, Russ, Rockin' O Railroad. How's it going, Russ? Good to see you here, man. Yeah, exactly, a very slow death. Like I said, you know, or even take them apart, you know. Start with the toes, go to the fingers, go for a foot, then a hand, you know. Work your way up, a wrist here and there, you know. And keep them alive the whole time. Thomas says I'm eating flaming hot Cheetos. We're glad we're not hanging out at your house tonight. Corey says my great-grandfather's name is Vlad. Not kidding. Well, that's cool. I bet he took a lot of shit though in school, huh? Or maybe not. People might have been afraid of. Oh, Vlad was what, Russian or somewhere in that area anyway, I think. 1,000 razor blade cuts and then rolled in salt. Ooh, that would hurt. Yeah, I hope I never piss any of you guys off. Ah, there you go. Blood was the inspiration from Dracula. Yeah, because he drank the blood and he was kind of a vicious motherfucker, man. For what I remember reading about him. Russ says brutal, Derek. Yeah, that is pretty brutal, man. You know. I mean, some of the things that men have devised to torture people over the centuries, you know, they had a lot of weird shit that they did to people, and man, it would have sucked to be on the wrong end of that one, wouldn't it? Yeah. But I guess they, you know, the point they were making, don't do this shit because this is what will happen to you. We don't do that. Now we got to kill them humanely and quietly. You know. Hey, we strap them to a table, we give them an injection. After we clean the injection site, which I have no idea why, you know, it's not like they're going to get hep or anything. I mean, you know, who cares? And they go to sleep and that's it. They never wake. Well, that's not what you did to your victim. You know, you brutally raped and murdered, maybe dismembered the woman, you know, that you killed. And all you get is a needle? That's bullshit. You know. I always thought that, you know, the punishment should fit the crime anyway. Okay, Romanian, Transylvania, that's where Vlad was. I knew it was somewhere out there near Russia. So, I was close, not quite. Thomas says, everything the government and the president, oh, of course it is. Because they're all crooks and they don't like America, they hate us, you know. I'm not sure why or what the hell they expect to prove with it, but, yeah, the last laugh will be on them. If they ever succeed, you know, I don't know if the Chinese really want to take us over or not. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but let's say they do. And if idiots like Brandon helps them to accomplish that, what do you think they're going to do once they're in place here? Hey, bring Brandon in here. We got something for him. You know. And they're going to lop his head off with a Chinese sword, whatever they call them things, you know. What is it called? A katana? They're going to lop his head off with a katana. And that's going to be the end of it. And this idiot thinks I'm going to be important. They're going to take care of me because I did a good thing for them. The enemy always kills the traitors first off. Always. It's been that way since the beginning of time. The enemy will use the traitor until they're no longer useful. Then they kill them because, hey, they can't be trusted. You know. Gerald says Vlad's castle is very cool. I've seen pictures of it a long time ago. I don't remember. That was a long time ago. Anthony says there's a museum in Leeds, UK that has all sorts of tools used to torture people. Yeah, I've seen some of that shit like on the internet, and they did have some crazy shit, man. Well, even the basic stuff like the rack, you know, they stretch you until you tear you apart. And then they had that cage, I can't remember what it was called, that spikes in it. They'd close it, you would die, obviously. But you'd be punctured like several thousand times. Yeah, and then they had, you know, things that pull out your tongue, snip it off with lopper, and then, you know, all kinds of weird shit, man, you know. That's a good point, Gerald. I asked that same question, by the way. All right, so they take over America. They kill all the Americans. Now what? Yeah, they have to sell themselves, but their people are so poor, they can't even afford to buy the cheap shit that they make. I don't know how that would pan out. Yeah, like I said, the Iron Maiden, that was it. I couldn't think of the word. Nasty way to go. China needs a capitalist free country. They can't develop useful tech on their own. Both the CCP and their oligarchs need our money. Well, that's true. They really do. You know, the only reason they're where they're at is because of us. which was our stupidity, of course. But you're right. Like I said, I don't necessarily buy that they want to take over the world. And the point, what would you do with it, you know? I mean, they got 2 billion people there that they're having a tough time controlling, you know. What are they going to do with 8 billion? I mean, yeah, they'd have to kill most of us off, but even that, what are they going to do with it? I think they're basically patsies. I think the real powers that be, whoever they are, they're trying to throw the blame on them. So, you know, look over there, not over here where the real shit's going on. And I think really that's what it comes down to. I could be wrong. Well, that's true. Nixon was the one who opened up trade with China, which at the time even I thought was a great idea, but we didn't really know much about the Chinese at the time. Turns out it probably wasn't a good idea. Andy said China would only take out the 3 West Coast states. Too many good old boys. Well, that's true. I think we'd hand them their asses. Remember, we have literally 200 million at least armed citizens that may be just as good as the military. And the military is going to fight alongside us anyway. I don't know how much military we got. Probably got a couple million military members. So the Chinese boast of their 1-million-man army. Well, last I looked, 200 million is a hell of a lot more than one. I mean, they'd never make it to the shore. We'd pick them up before they got to the beach, you know. And that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I just don't see how they can theoretically. Well, I mean, that's why they're trying to disarm us, not the Chinese, but why Biden? Because President Z, or whatever the fuck his name is, literally commanded, so to speak, Biden to disarm us. Because you got to do something about your people. They got too many guns. You need to take them away. Why would China care whether we have guns or not? Unless they're planning on invading. You know. That's if there's any truth to that at all. Like I said, I don't really think there is. You know. And even the government's scared to death because we're so well armed. We could take on the military if we needed to. Oh yeah, we'd take heavy casualties, but we have the numbers, you know. And it doesn't matter whether they took our guns or not, because first off, nobody's going to give away the stuff that isn't recorded, and we all have guns that are, you know, clean. And we don't really need guns anyway. We know how to build explosives. We'll just blow the fuckers up. We don't care. You know, dead is dead, right? But they really, if they really think that they can disarm America, anybody thinks they can disarm America and take us over, they're going to get a very, very rude awakening, because it ain't going to happen. That's true, we should have, Corey, but we did stop them, and that was our mistake, you know. That's the thing, you know. Well, and like I said, Derek, I mean, I know you guys may not agree with me on this, and that's fine. I can't prove it one way or the other, but all the research I've done on nuclear weapons say that they cannot be put in aircraft, on ships, or missiles. They have to, it's a ground-based thing. It's very large, and you have to detonate it on the ground. So somebody's lying somewhere. Now that may be a lie. Maybe the whole, we got nukes we can launch at you, that could be a lie. We don't know. But the fact that no one's used one yet, except for us, we're the only ones that ever used the atomic bomb. And if you do a little bit of research in that, you'll find out that might have been a lie too. You know, the 2 cities that we hit, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, or Hiroshima, however you want to pronounce it, there was nobody there that survived that could tell what really happened, you know. So the working theory is that we literally carpet bombed both cities after warning them to leave and faked the whole atomic bomb thing. Did we? I don't know. Hey, look, we faked the moon landing, so anything is possible. And you guys know we faked the moon landing. So, let's see. Oath Keepers railroaded. No shit. Possible exculpatory evidence coming out. Defendants' lawyers were not allowed to see it. Leader already sentenced to 18 years. Well, the January 6th was all crock anyway. Look, if we were going to riot and actually be guilty of sedition or whatever the fuck they're talking about, where's all the dead bodies? You know, nobody was armed except for the Capitol Police, you know. But the rioters, if you want to call them that, nobody had guns on them. Or if they did, they certainly didn't use them. And believe me, if they wanted to kill congressmen and senators, they had every opportunity to do it, yet they didn't. Once again, they overblown this thing. It's all bullshit. The Democrats are pissed, and I think they're scared too. They go, oh, Jesus Christ, they could have killed us. But they didn't. Yeah, maybe they could have. And they're probably worried that maybe next time they will. You know, I'm sure it was a little reality check for the Democrats when that happened. Because remember, they know they were cheating anyway. So, I mean, you know, when you're guilty of something, you're always scared that somebody's going to find out and retaliate in one form or another. Me too, Gerald. There's no doubt about it. And I think that's true of most civilians. And I hate to badmouth cops because I really do respect the cops. But the reality is the majority of them can't shoot to save their lives. You know, and I'm thinking to myself, well, if they're not wearing armor, they're screwed. You know, because they really are. They're terrible shots. You know, most of them, like I said, well, they were talking about the FBI today on another video I was watching. The FBI was originally given 40 caliber guns. They couldn't qualify with them because it was too much recoil. So then they gave them 10 millimeter, which has slightly less, well, actually a lot less recoil than the 40 did. They still couldn't qualify with them. They were actually complaining, we can't shoot these because the recoil is hurting our hands. And that's how they wound up with the 9 millimeter. Now, you guys know I'm not a big fan of 9 millimeter, but, you know, you can't tell me that a bigger bullet won't do more damage. You know, and I've read a lot of reports that, you know, oh, a 9 millimeter is just as good as a 45. Well, I've never seen a man take 16 rounds of 45 and live to tell the tale. However, I hear about a lot of people taking 16 rounds of 9 millimeter and walking away from it. So, you know, I'm not saying 9 millimeter is a bad gun. I'm just saying bigger is better. It always is when it comes to bullets. But the pussy FBI, you can't shoot them. And if you can't shoot a 40, chances are you ain't going to shoot a 9 much better. You know, and they're probably lousy shots. It's screwed up, man. It really is. That test we had yesterday. I don't know what the deal was with that. I mean, I hate to sound paranoid, but I turned everything off for about an hour. You know, I figured, well, you know, and my point is, and my wife even agreed with me. I said, you know, the whole purpose of that test, probably realistically, is what to do in case of a nuclear or biological attack. Do you really want to know you're about to die? It'd be better to just be going about your business, and if there are nukes, you're vaporized in a split second. You probably won't even know what happened. Same with a chemical weapon. You know, it might last a few seconds that you'll bleed out or whatever happens in a biological attack. But you can't do anything about it. So what's the point? You know? I think it's the government's way of spreading more fear porn more than anything else. Now, there's some conspiracy theorists that say that the tone they used, the sound, could actually activate people who had the, you know, vaccine, and it will ultimately kill them in a short period of time. We'll find out. If you start seeing dead people, body counts in the next month or a year, we'll probably know that that was true. But, nobody really knows. So, yeah, I just, like I said, I just told my wife, said, just turn everything off. We can live without a phone or a smart TV or the computer on for a fucking hour, just in case. And it may be nothing, no big deal, who knows? Let's see, the January 6th Commission picked out what they wanted from the videos. Oh, yeah, of course they did. Of course, the good news is Tucker Carlson supposedly has most of the original videos in his possession. And that's why he was booted from Fox, because he started showing them, We know they were lying about it because, like I said, when BLM was rioting in the streets, what were they doing? Looting stores, breaking glass, overturning police cars, any cars, setting fire to the cars, just going nuts. They're trying to say that January 6th was the same thing. And yet, none of those things happened, short of the glass breaking, And we don't even know if that was our people doing it, because supposedly they had FBI plainclothes people in there pretending to be January 6th rioters. They may have been behind the whole thing. So, Corey says, I damn near wrecked that warning came over the speakers of my truck from the Bluetooth. Yeah, you should turn that shit off, man. Well, if you didn't get the, you're okay. But if you did get it, the showstopper shot, well, you're probably dead anyway and you just don't even know it yet. So, yeah. I was talking to my doctor's nurse the other day, and she asked me, she said, are you caught up on your shots? And I said, no, I don't believe it. Well, what do you mean? I said, well, did you get yours? She goes, oh, yeah, I got 2 of them. It was nice knowing you. You'll be dead in 5 years. Really? Probably. Unless you're lucky enough to get the placebo shot. Because only 50% of the showstopper shots were the real vaccine. The other half were placebos or salt water. My understanding of it. So, if you die, you got the real one. And people are dropping dead all over the place, man. Anthony says you can hide under a school desk. Of course you can. Or dive into a body of water like your swimming pool. So you can be, boiled alive. I remember doing that once when I was real little. I think it was the first grade, maybe. Either kindergarten or first grade. I think that was like the end of it. Because I don't remember doing it after that. We did the whole duck and cover thing, Get underneath what they should have been telling us was, now children, remove your glasses, any loose clothing you might have. Empty your pockets. Crawl under your desk, tuck your head firmly between your legs, and kiss your ass goodbye. That's what they should have been telling us. But they didn't. I want to know, sorry to the hottest girlfriend. Yeah, I guess you could go there, but I probably would. Anthony says, was texting when it happened. I dropped my phone, scared the crap out of me. I heard it was pretty loud. Like I said, I don't know. I shut everything off. I wasn't taking any chances. And Russ said they did not destroy it all, Derek. Well, no, they did. Like I said. And that's always, the bad guys, whoever they may be, always make that fatal mistake of keeping shit that can get them down the road. And it always does. Somebody finds it, brings it out, and says, well, looky what I found, And then the bad guys are toast. I mean, I would destroy any evidence that could be used against me right off the bat, but apparently the Democrats are either too stupid or their egos don't allow them to do it. Not sure which. Or he said, nope, I'm a pure blood aside from all the bullshit Uncle Sam put me 20. Well, that was okay because, like I said, we all got some stuff, back in the day. That was before they were trying to kill us. Now, I'd be afraid to take anything, And fortunately, they're pretty cool with it because I've never had to raise my voice to a doctor, The doctor said, well, you have to get this. Well, I have to stick my foot in your ass, too. That's exactly what's going to happen if you try and shoot me with anything. I will shoot you back with lead. And I'm pretty sure mine will be more effective than yours will be. But fortunately, I think a lot of doctors know it anyway now. They might have even known back then, in 20. But they couldn't say anything. So I don't get an argument when I say no thank you. I don't even get the flu shot. Never had one, never will, Look, if it's my time to die, I'm just going to die. But I have faith in the God that I, pray to, that he'll keep me alive, hopefully. And if he don't, well, that's the way it goes. But I'm not going to run around scared to death that I'm going to die from some cold or flu or whatever because they can't cure it anyway, My dad got a flu shot every year. Every year he got deathly ill. I used to ask, Dad, why do you get the shot? Well, so I don't die from the disease. I said, but you're getting the flu. Only worse because I never got the shot. I get the flu maybe once every 5 years, and it's not that bad, And I don't get any vaccine. I said, I looked into it. And the thing is, they have to guess on the strain that they're going to use for this year's flu. They're almost always wrong. So they give you a flu shot for a flu that's not even going to happen. It doesn't work, apparently, and you wind up getting the real flu anyway. What the hell's the point? Gerald Stewart said, all of us that grew up in the 60s know what to do in a nuclear attack. You squat down, tuck your head between your knees, and kiss your sweet ass goodbye. I just kind of went through those. I used to have a poster. It was back from the 60s. And it was like the 10 or 12 things you had to do before a nuclear attack. Or in case, but I like to find that again. If I ever do, I'm going to post it on this site, or one of my videos or something. And the last thing it said was, and firmly tuck your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. Which was the truth of it, You can't survive that shit if you're in the blast area. I mean, if you're away from the blast, yeah, you might. But, Thomas says, we got an email at work the day before telling us about the alert, and it was it happened at 2:20. I watched it, I heard about it a few weeks ago on MSN on the news on the computer. So I kept on to it. So I actually looked it up to make sure, because I wasn't sure the date, and they provided the date and time. Okay. Hey, James, Dundas Junction Model Railroad. How you doing, James? You missed all the fun, man. We assembled a 3D printed tractor with a crane attachment on it. It's my latest file that came out really nice. It looks good. Everything's straight and all that. I went through the assembly on it. They're up for sale, so if you want one, $15 plus shipping. You could buy one or you could buy 20. Shipping will still be the same. Anyway, how you doing? Glad you're here. Better late than never. Thomas says, I got the flu shot once many, many years ago, and nothing happened, so I decided not to get it any longer. There you go. Now, like I said, once again, I did research on this stuff. And what I found out is I'd have to really, I may do a video on it one of these days, because I'll have to dig up all that old information. But several doctors, good doctors, like important ones, they did studies on it, and they said that there is no way you can vaccinate through your blood. you can vaccinate through your nose. That's why they were trying to come up with a flu vaccine that you inhaled. Because something about going through your lungs is actually what creates the antibodies for your body to fight off unknown diseases, or, things like flu bugs. But if you inject into the bloodstream, it confuses the body. The body doesn't know what to do, and you don't really build a resistance to it. I tend to believe that because, I don't think, everything I've found about these so-called vaccines turn out to be not quite accurate. So who knows? Let's see. James says, I lived on the street growing up, hopped on boxcars. Oh, you got a good life, man. I wish I could have done it. We hopped the freighters a couple of times where I lived up in Jersey. We never got caught, thank God. My parents would have killed me. But it was fun to do, but we just did it for fun. You want one? Sure, no problem. And so I'm still working out the instructions for it. I'm going to give a pictured and written explanation of instructions. So it'll be very easy to put together, and anybody can do it. But it'll be sold in a kit form. You'll have to paint it and assemble it and all that. But I will give you everything you need short of the paint and the glue to actually build a proper model. So watch the replay and you'll see it when I was doing it. Anthony says, I've gotten one flu shot, got the flu for the first time, never took it again. There you go. At least you were smart enough to figure it out. As I said, my dad would get it every year. Well, his doctor would bully him for it anyway. And my doctor also bullied him in getting the pneumonia shot multiple times. You're only supposed to get it once. But he got it like 5 times in 3 years or something like that. And I said, that's not good for you, Dad. They also made him get the shingle shot. And there's another shot they want you to get too. I can't let. He passed before, the showstopper. But he probably would have took that too because, he trusted the doctors. And I said, Dad, they're lying to you. They're trying to make money here. They don't care whether you live or die. They want to get your money, though. Thomas says the Canadian National Railroad spike is brand new, and the damn thing was overcasted. Well, that's probably why they tossed it, because it wasn't suitable for use. It was what you call a reject. Russ says, I roll the dice myself on the flu shot just like you, Jim. Well, like I said, it is what it is. Sometimes I took the grinder and fixed it. Well, there you go. That's one way to fix it. Gerald said there's a poster on Etsy.com. Hey, if you get a chance, take a shot of that and email it to me, and I want to see if it's the same one. I kind of remember it because I had it right in my bedroom on the wall. I saw it. Made my mom buy it for me. This is back in, it'd be 67, 68, somewhere around there. A long time ago. James says, our neighbor at the cottages from New Jersey caught a 4-pound largemouth bass. Ooh, yeah. Good eating there. Anthony wants to know, did he clean and eat them? Of course. No point in having it if you don't eat it. I haven't gone fishing in a long time. I'm not a very good fisherman, unfortunately. I'd be much better at hunting than I would be at fishing. Oh no, he tossed it back. What a waste. That could have been some good eating there. That ain't right. So, but anyway, so that's where we're at. So what else do I got going on? There's so much I got to do here. It's not fun. But I do have these Christmas trees. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I might do a 2-part thing and include it in the same video. thinking I might put up a Christmas tree, where you sell them, like a little stand on one area, and then after that, I'll film that. And then I'll go ahead and maybe put some on the train, either flat cars or gondolas. I'm going to come up with something. I got 3 months to fool with it. So I'm going to come up with something. Hopefully it'll be good. What the hell? And Thomas Moore says Jim has false albacore in Florida. What the hell is false albacore? I don't know what that is. And black ocean bass. I don't know what that is either. Yeah, there you go, Tom. I do my fishing at the supermarket. That's probably the easiest place to do it. Even Anthony liked that one. Hey, bro, if I eat fish, and I love fish, but I'm kind of afraid to eat anything from the Gulf of Mexico or even the Atlantic coastline. Because remember years ago when we had that big oil spill, they dumped that Corexit in the water. That poisoned a lot of the water and the fish. And I'm kind of leery about eating them now. But you can still get fish off like the coast of Alaska. That's some good fish. But you're going to pay dearly for it too, so that's another issue. Yeah, Russ said the same thing. I do my fishing at the store. Look at that word. James said this lake is very popular with Americans. That's the Loughborough Lake. I'm not familiar with it. Of course, I've been in Jersey in a long, long time. I assume that's South Jersey, right? Probably. It's sad for throwing it back in. Oh, hell yeah. That's very sad. See, if I had to go through all that trouble to catch a damn fish, I'm eating that son of a bitch. That's all there is to it. There ain't no way I'm tossing that sucker back. I mean, unless he's too small or something. But if I can legally keep the fish, I'm taking it home, I'm gutting it, and I'm going to eat it. You like shooting a deer and walking away. You don't do that. You shoot the deer, you take it home, you gut it, and you get some nice venison out of the deal. Or jerky or whatever you want to do with it. Tom Grass said, when I was in Hawaii, I ate the best tasting fly. I'm sure the fish is real good out there, too. Okay, thanks, Gerald. I'll check that out later. I gotta figure out what the hell password is. Oh, that's right. I got a weird password for my email. I got hacked again. I've been hacked like 5 times on my Hotmail account. So I said, I usually do, well, they're not, not many people would figure them out, but this time I did like a password this long. It's just different caps and different letters from, no word. It's just all jumbled. And if that doesn't work, then I don't give a shit anymore. But so I got it written down at the house what it is, because I never remember it. So I'll have to key it into my phone later. But I set up another email account because I have a Nest thermostat, it's a learning thermostat, the air conditioner in the house. And the thing is weird, it won't let you reuse an email account once you use it. So because I used it on my Hotmail account, I used it on my Yahoo account, I had to come up with a completely new account. Still isn't working, so I don't know what the hell is going on. But I literally have like 5 email accounts. But the only one I really use is the one you see below here in a minute. And my Yahoo account is a backup. But I have a Gmail account. We have 2 Gmail accounts. I don't like Gmail. I don't like Google. But I had to have one because my Nest Protects, the smoke detectors, insisted that I migrate over to their system. It's all horseshit, all of it is. So that's the way that goes. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. That's where mine got hacked on dark web. I don't know why they waste their time with it. I mean, I don't really put anything on the computer that could be used against me, you know. Learning my email address, all you gotta do is just send me bullshit. And I get all kinds of, I don't know if you guys get it or not. Like today, I got, I think, 7 emails. Different headers on them, but the exact same email for the exact same iPhone 15 for the exact same price. They said, you know, thank you for purchasing the iPhone from PayPal, which I know is bullshit because then you know, my PayPal account is very secure. And they said they get 7 of them, the same form, everything's the same except for the first name and the header. You know, are these people stupid or not? If you're gonna pull off a scam, you don't send multiple identical emails trying to scam someone out of their money. So what they do is, you know, if you have a problem with this or if you disagree, call this number. We'll get you straightened out. Then they'll ask you for your credit card number or your PayPal account info. And once you give them that shit, well, now you're screwed. Most of us know this, you know. But apparently there's some dummies out there that don't. And they're just so stupid, you know. It pisses me off. Hey, Jim, you don't have to worry until they turn off your AC and turn up the heat up to 99. That's okay. I can turn it off. The one thing nice about the Nest thermostat is, even if somebody hijacked it, all you can do is pull it off the wall. It snaps right off, shuts the whole system down. So, it's not very good for that. I mean, if it were a permanent assembly, you may have a problem. You know, I know there are some smart houses where everything is integrated and you can't negate it. I would never have a house like that. You know? If you guys ever see, it was a movie a long time ago. What was it called? Demon Seed? It was set in the future, and this woman or her husband went on some business trip. She was left home alone, and she lived in a smart house. It was all computerized. Well, the computer, I guess, I don't know, was taken over by Satan or something, but it trapped her in the house. It wouldn't let her out. It would turn up the heat. It would turn on the air conditioning. It would do all kinds of weird shit because she got no control. The whole house was completely automated. Then finally, near the end of the movie, this computer creates a robot type thing to artificially inseminate her. Hence the name Demon Seed. And the last thing you see is she's pregnant before the movie ends. It's weird, but, you know, maybe that was a little look into the future that could happen. Who the hell knows? You go either way. Let's see. Did I lock up again? Yes, I did. Fucking thing. Just saw weather forecast for Saturday, low 50s and high 81. Yeah, we're supposed to be getting a cold front across most of the country. Tom Grassley says I get 50 to 100 junk emails a day. I do too. And the ones that end up in my inbox, I mark them as junk. Yeah, I do the same thing, but it doesn't matter. I just get new ones. Sometimes I'll unsubscribe to them too. It really doesn't make a difference. Scott says Gordon Ramsay is raising hell and cussing on Hell's Kitchen on TV. Yeah, you'd think that guy had blown a blood vessel by now, you know. Just because. I'm going to restart this again, so give me a minute. I know I'm crazy, but I can't help it. I like having my chat. Let's see. It'll only take a minute. I do this so often I can almost do it with my eyes closed. Studio.YouTube. And now the code. Underscore V usage. It should fire back up again. We'll see. Loading. Come on. This thing is slow. May not do it. Oh, here we go. We're good to go. Oh, shit. What happened? And go back here. Open that back up. Lower that down. Okay, and we're back on. We're back on chat again. Let's see, what did I miss? Russ says, Norton told me about 2 years ago that my main email address is on the dark web. I get the weirdest shit email. Yeah, I do too. Like I said, mine's been on the dark web like 5, 7 times. It's been a lot. And every time they do it, they tell me, change your password. And I do. And 6 months go by, and there I am getting another notification. So what the hell are you going to do? All right, Anthony, have a good one. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good evening, and we'll see you next time, man. What do I think about trains derailing? Well, I think it's mostly poor maintenance on the tracks and on the trains themselves. It could be, my wife thinks they're terrorist attacks. Maybe they are, I don't know. I mean, one of the big problems I got was like that one in Ohio, the big one. That happened right there by a lake or a river that fed into the Ohio River. That's a little, why did it happen there, So, but who knows? It's hard to prove one way or the other. All right, Corey, thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see you next time. You have a good evening as well and a good weekend, and we'll see you next time. Tom says, don't unsubscribe if you want. They will send you. I know I had that happen once. I generally don't do it anymore for the same reason. I unsubscribed to something. An hour later, I had something like 1,500 emails from different places in my inbox. I'm going, son of a bitch. And I wound up having to, because I mean, it would have took forever to individually delete them. So I hit the button on top and deleted the whole thing. I didn't have a choice. I lost a few things that I wanted to keep. But yeah, they're, that's like, like I said, if it were up to me, if I caught somebody doing that, I would insist on the death penalty for them, And it should be a death penalty offense. If you screw around with email or anybody's electronic stuff, you should lose your life over it, Might be severe, but hey, so what? Well, it only takes once, Derek, because I was doing it for a while. And I must have unsubscribed from the right one. And I got literally 1,500 at least emails. I mean, it came in like a machine gun. Holy Christ, what the hell? Hey, John Nippenberg. How's it going, John? Good to see you here. You missed all the fun stuff. We were working on a 3D printed crane that I kind of invented. It's a tractor with a crane attachment on it. It will be up for sale. If you're interested, drop me an email. But I did the assembly of it tonight on live, so everybody could see how it would come out. Well, it came out nice. But I'll be selling it as a kit. You'll have to paint it and assemble it yourself. Let's see. For sure, O scale. I could do that in O scale too, probably. You know, you just have to specify. It'd be a little more money, obviously, but I could do it. I could do it in O scale. Gerald said Dennis and Otter Creek and Rio Grande Railroad just posted a video to honor Art passing. Oh, cool. There's the link for it. Cool. I'm going to copy that link. Probably easier to do it up here. Yeah, okay, I got it. I'll check it out later. Remember that I'm going to put this up again, up in the upper right of the screen. There will be a celebration for anybody who is in Florida near there on October 25th. I'll be going. Pretty sure Tom from Tom's Trains and Things and his wife will be going. And I don't know if Curtis might go. I'm not sure. I forgot to ask him. But if you're interested in going there, that would be the thing to do. Yeah, it really sucks that, passed, but what are you going to do? I liked Art. Didn't know him real well, but said I communicated through the email a few times. And I think I sold him a couple of things, or he maybe even won something from me. I don't remember. Russ says, whatever you do, don't answer any polls or surveys. Ask me how I know. Now, I do that, unfortunately. I belong to, I can't remember the names of them. There's two polling companies that I deal with. I get paid for both of them, so I do it. I'll be honest with you. If there's a question there I don't like, I will not necessarily tell the truth on it, But other than that, most of the stuff's pretty innocuous. I don't worry about it. But I did it for the money mostly, and the one that I do, it's Leo, Leaguer something organization. I can't remember what it is now, but after you get 20,000 points, you get $20. Usually, it only takes me a couple of months to rack up 20,000 points, and I get like $20. So I've got probably $300 from them already over time. And most of the questions they ask are kind of dumb. They ask you the basic stuff. Do you identify as a man, woman, or something else? Did you finish high school? Well, no, I did. They ask you for your approximate annual salary or whatever, income. And I do lie about that too, but it doesn't matter, But they'll ask you questions like, who'd you vote for in 20? They'll give the name of everybody who ran. I'll tell the truth on that one because I figure a lot of those polls wind up on national news, There's other questions like, are you satisfied with Biden's ability to do it, as president? Like, no. Kamala Harris, no. Democrats in general, no. But they're just stupid questions like that in most cases. Scott says, 2 weeks ago I talked to a woman about doing a sonogram on my leg. I talked about Gordon Ramsay, and she told me that her and her husband went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, cost $3,000 in Las Vegas. Yeah, well, I don't even really like the guy. Damn sure wouldn't spend $3,000 to eat a dinner, But that's on her. That's crazy. And of course, all that stuff is staged anyway. You know that, right? It's like these reality shows. They're anything but. Derek says all of this stuff can easily be taken care of by Congress passing a law that any service must have as their main screen. Do you want to be tracked, yes or no? Do you want your info sold? That's true. They could, but they don't. And like I said, the reality is there's a lot of, well, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, he wouldn't have happened. We're all on a list, probably, at least You guys are, I am, the FBI list. Because of the things we talk about. I mean, and you know damn good well they listen to this stuff. Either a computer listens or somebody actually listens. And they're writing this shit down. It's like when you go to a doctor's office, they ask you a question. It's a yes or no question. And they're writing a whole paragraph on it, What the hell are you writing there? And they won't show you, So, it's a little suspicious right off the bat, John said that's a re-railing crane. It could be, but it wasn't actually designed for that. It was designed for lifting stuff, like light construction and stuff. I've got this little thing here. See that little grabber hook. So this one here is actually designed to pick up scrap or wood, stuff like that. But yeah, you could probably use it for. Well, you need two of them to pick up a car and place it back on the track. So yeah, it could be. I guess whatever you want to use it for, you can. Derek says, in any service not abiding by it will be removed from it. Well, yeah, that would be the right way to do it. But that ain't going to happen. Because it's all about, getting your info. Russ says Gordon Ramsay is an AOL asshole. Oh, he is, kind of, I mean, I've seen some of his shows. You got Hell's Kitchen, you've got, I can't remember half now. They had one where he cooks at home. And he's real calm and level-headed and pretty decent, So I think the whole Hell's Kitchen deal is probably an act, It's hard telling, I mean, I don't know the guy personally, so I don't know what he's like in real life. But, I mean, if you were like that in real life, you'd have had a stroke by now. You can't maintain an attitude like that and survive it, I wouldn't think, I got that same poll, Russ, and I answered yes. Because you know what, I would. Because they were talking about trying to keep him off the ballot in several states. And, oh, man, I'll write him in. I've done write-ins before. When Bush was running, I wrote in Mickey Mouse. And son of a bitch won, didn't he? It's like tell people, who'd you vote for? Well, I voted for Mickey Mouse, but the motherfucker won anyway. Well, no, he didn't. Bush did. I said, well, same thing. Bush was kind of a Mickey Mouse, because I didn't like Bush, and I didn't like the alternative either, so I did it right, and I figured, screw it, what difference does it make? Derek said, Big Jim, they confirmed that today. FBI has admitted Trump followers are domestic terrorists. Oh, yeah, I read that, too. I don't know if they really are, but I wouldn't be surprised, I don't think they're going to bust down your door in a raid, unless you really are plotting something. Most of us just talk stuff, It's not a big deal. Well, that's true, Derek. If you had an attitude like that for real, somebody would. I would have clocked them. You can't fucking scream at me, motherfucker. Boom! Been there, done that, actually, back in the day, I didn't like people screaming in my face. And that was grounds for getting your nose popped, And I'm sure we've all done it. And that would happen even today because nobody would put up with that shit. John says, I saw a video of them using two dozer-type lift cranes to offload WMSR 1309 when they took it from the B&O Railroad Museum to the Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have a similar device. The only difference in theirs is they have a big counterweight on the back of it because you're picking up a lot of weight there. And it's a relatively small crane. But yes, it's a very similar device, a newer, of course. This is based on a 1942 International Harvester TD-9 crane. So, You know, I'm sure they have newer stuff that's obviously stronger and better built. But I've seen that too on other cars where they had derailments and the trains didn't fall over. The train cars did, but they had to pick them up and set them back on the track. And it would take two of them, and they'd hook it up and slowly bring it up and move it over and drop it back on the track. That's when you need a Jolly Green Giant. He could just set them right on there. Yeah, oh, you know, that ain't gonna. Sounded good anyway. But yeah, that's the thing about cranes. You can do a lot of shit with them, you know. I wish I had something like that for here, for my yard, you know. Of course, I'd probably have a bat wing on it just to cut the lot. The empty lot's a pain in the ass. You want the riding mower, you know, it's a little over an acre or thereabouts. That's a lot of weeds to cut. It's a pain in the ass, you know. It'd be a lot faster with a bat wing and a tractor than it would be with my riding mower, but, you know. I didn't think about actually buying something like that when I had the money. I probably should have, though. You know, used one, obviously. There's a lot of things I should have bought that I didn't. You know, now I'm thinking about buying a golf cart because my three-wheel scooter, it's falling apart rapidly. And I'm thinking I could spend $3,000 to buy another one, or I could get a used golf cart for less than $2,000, and it'll actually be a better vehicle, you know. And I'd be more likely to go a little farther with it too. Like, there's a dollar store about 2 miles from here. All back roads. I could drive an electric vehicle on it, no problem. I could take my scooter if I wanted to, but my batteries are on the low end right now. I don't know if I'd make it back and forth. So, and not only that, but I know how to make a golf cart do 40 miles an hour easily. So, I can't do that with my scooter. It does 24, and that's it. Now, which is not bad. And then you don't have a lot of storage room on either. A golf cart, you know, you've got just even a two-seater, at least you got the well behind the seats. The storage, I can put a basket back there or whatever. You know, it just seems like it'd be a better deal. Let's see. John says you can put plates on a golf cart in Florida and run it. Well, yes, you can actually. I know they were talking about that back in Naples on the day. There are things you have to do. You have to have the headlights. You have to have a windshield wiper and brake lights and turn signals. Most of the golf carts I've seen only have turns or brake lights. I know they make them with turn. I mean, you can put that stuff on if you wanted to. But you could drive them legally on the street even without a license because electric doesn't require a license plate. As long as you're in the back roads. I mean, you can't take it down 27 because the speed limit's 60 to begin with. And it'd be dangerous. I wouldn't do it. Now, if it did 60, oh, hell yeah, I'd drive it. But, you know. Hey, Trade Video Production, how's it going? Good to see you here. But yeah, actually you can, like I said, but you have to meet the qualifications. But on the back roads, like county roads where there's speed limit is generally 45 and less, you can drive any electric vehicle you want without a license plate. So, you know, like I said, my scooter, 3 wheels, electric. It's not one of the little things. I don't have a picture of it, but it's pretty big. I mean, it stands about this tall, and it's about like 6 or 7 foot long, a little over 2 foot wide, rear-wheel drive. Looks like a trike, you know, but a bigger one. And it's battery powered, and it like I said, does 24 miles an hour. I paid $1,800 for it 6 years ago. And the new product, they went up in price, they're up to $3,000 now. So I'm not buying another one for $3,000. Yeah, because they're from China, they're cheap. And the batteries don't last that long. On my second set of batteries, I need a third set. So I'd rather just invest in a golf cart, you know. Easier. Derek says, anyone looking to upgrade to iPhone 15, be advised they're having problems with. Oh yeah, they're so hot you can't hold them. Yeah, and that's another thing. I don't like the iPhone anyway. I mean, you guys like them, that's your thing, but I would never own one. Don't they test these things before they sell them? I mean, really? You would think that somebody would, you know, test it for at least a month or two under all weird conditions to make sure it's going to hold up. But no, and I guess there's also a problem with radiation from them as well. I know the 14, I think it's the 14, they're saying that they're actually banned in several countries because the radiation emitted from them goes above the safe levels for a cell phone. You can keep your iPhone. I'll keep my whatever it's called there. Android. I mean, this thing never gets hot. It's got a really big battery in it, and I think you can talk on it for like almost 2 days. It's on standby for I think 8 or 9 days, and it won't go dead. And it was cheap. I paid $240 for it. So I bought it right from China. It's a doogie, big screen, 6 inches. And I'm not going to do that right now. Like my my screen on there. It's not a bad phone. It's got an 8-core processor in it, 128K of RAM or some shit like that. Yeah, 128K of RAM. It's got more power than a damn laptop does. I can't see spending $1,000 or more per phone. I don't give a damn what it is. It's not doing it. I trained video says, well, now I know not to get one. Trust me, you'd be better off. Yeah. The only thing the iPhone has that the Android doesn't is a superior camera. The iPhone takes quality pictures like an actual Nikon one, 35 millimeter digital. The pictures that an iPhone takes are absolutely incredible. But if you want a camera, go out and buy a damn camera. If you want a phone to talk on or text with or anything else, you don't want an iPhone. Just my opinion. John says, several years ago, my brother and his wife had those Samsung phones that would spontaneously combust. I remember those. They took them back and got iPhones. Yeah, I remember that too. I never had a Samsung. I thought they were too much money. My wife loves Samsung. She could have it, She just got a new phone. Turns out it's a 5G, and she goes, I don't know if I want to keep it or not. I won't have a 5G phone. That's 4G, and it's relatively safe. There's proven experiments that 5G will actually cause your cells to explode in your body under certain circumstances. I'll pass. Yeah, I remember those too, the hoverboard. My grandson had one, and I told his mother about it. I said, you want to be careful with that in the house. Well, they finally got rid of it, But that was the batteries. The lithium batteries are very volatile. That's the problem with the electric cars. They're running lithium batteries in them. If you damage the battery pack or overcharge it, it'll burst into flames. And you can't put it out. A titty screensaver. Well, hey, look, why not? Derek says, I got iPhone because when the FBI wanted access to 2 phones owned by suspects in homicide, Apple refused to comply with the SAT. I remember that too. I don't think that holds anymore, though. Bottom line is they want information, they'll get it one way or the other. Stormy Sky Rail Productions. Dave, how's it going? Good to see you here. Waycross Scott says, does anybody remember SCL in the 70s? To 82 in Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, and North Carolina had family members that SCL Railroad, and does anyone model SCL or SCL or SCL? I remember them, but I don't have anything for that. Like most of the stuff you can buy now is FEC, which is the Florida Railroad. I think it's FEC. But I'm sure a lot of the stuff can be gotten if you look for it. Russ says, I have owned 4 iPhones. I love them. Okay, well, yeah, that's cool. Like I said, it's individual choice. You could not give me one. But that's my choice, so. Derek says 5G sucks. It has no range. You would need a cell tower every mile. Well, that's true. But the problem is, the 5G is very dangerous to the human body. And they admit it, but they still have them, Because they want to put the 5G transmitter literally at every stop sign within the towns and cities because the range does suck on them. You know what? How fast does the damn phone need to be, If I hit the button and it makes the call, that's fast enough, If I go to search the internet, it pops right up. How much faster can it be? Yeah. But that's the excuse they're using, Well, 5G is faster than 4G. When I had my flip phone, it was 2G capable. I mean, you could get the internet on it. It was terribly slow and small. But you could do it, But I figured if you were in a bind, it was worthwhile. But if I want to get on the internet, I got my 40-inch screen here. Why the hell would I want to screw out with a 6-inch screen? Even in the house, I think, the one in the house is a 40-inch too. And I have a backup screen for this one. It's not, because this isn't smart, I don't need it to be. The one in the house is. But I have a 50-inch in the garage to replace this one when it finally dies. Probably going from 40 to 50. No biggie. Yeah. I ain't gonna go bigger. I don't want to go smaller. I'm not getting younger. My eyes are not getting better. As you age, your eyesight goes to shit. And my wife, she had an iPhone. I think hers was an iPhone 12. She got it. Company she was with literally gave it to her. It's obviously refurbished. It's a piece of shit. She doesn't like it. She doesn't know how to work it. And the thing has got a little 4-inch screen on. I mean, she's like this trying to read the damn thing. I said, Deb, why you screw with that? Get something with a 6 or 6.5-inch screen on. Yeah, probably should. So she's got a Samsung now. I don't know what model, but it is 5G. I think it will work off 4G if there's no 5G available. And I don't think there's any 5G available in this area. Not that I'm aware of. Like, so once you get it set up, it'll tell you whether you're running 4 or 5G on there. Mine does. Well, mine can't do 5G, but, if you go into the settings, it'll show it's transmitting and receiving in 4G. So if you have 5G, it's going to tell you the same thing. So, that's on her if she wants to deal with that. I mean, I would like to throw the damn thing in the trash, and go back to a landline in the house. I can put a landline in here if I needed it, Come on, you guys are the same age as me, a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older. But we're in the same generational period. They didn't have cell phones when we were growing up. A lot of you guys probably remember party lines. I do. We had multiple people on different phones throughout, party line. So you had to pick up the phone, listen, see if anybody else was on it before you could make a call. Sometimes you just be a busybody and listen to somebody else's conversation. That was back in the 60s, We had a party line up north. We moved down to Florida. They didn't have party lines down here. At least we weren't aware of it. So we actually had private lines, And that's when you had to pay for long distance. Everything outside of Naples was long distance. They wanted to call Bonita Springs, which was only 6 miles away. It was a long distance call. Finally, they fixed that, and made it local. And I think Even Fort Myers became local before they came out with the cell phones. We got along fine, you know. If you're worried about somebody calling, you usually had an answering machine. I had one, you know. You got home, you check your answering machine. Somebody called you, knew to call them back if you wanted to. You know, this bullshit of taking your phone everywhere you go. You've got no privacy, no alone time, you know, because most people won't turn their phones off, you know, when they're carrying them. I don't take this thing anywhere with me unless I'm traveling, you know. When I go to the store with it, that stays home, you know. I don't need it. If I have to make a list, I'll write a list of stuff I need on paper and take that list with me. I don't need to put it in the damn phone. Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. And you know, that damn thing stopped again. I might restart. There we go. I remember landlines, Thomas said, yeah. Rick said, yep, my grandfather had a party line. I remember friend's parents said party lines to the brush. Derek says, cell phone is great for an emergency to have with you and for the quality of the camera. But that's true. I mean, I never had an issue with that. Like the first time I traveled, when they came out with the phones, a friend of mine had a bag phone. And he let me borrow it, you know, because I travel with it. And, you know, I don't have a brand new car, so there was always that possibility the damn thing could break down, you know. I may or may not be able to fix it myself on the road. So I took the phone with me. Well, he told me it was 25 cents a minute. But he didn't tell me about roaming charges. I only used the phone a few times, probably put a total of 10 minutes on it, maybe 15 minutes. I had a $1,000 bill. I had to pay him back. You know, I did. But I was not happy. What the hell happened to 25 cents? Oh, roaming calls are more expensive. Why didn't you tell me that? The roaming calls were like, some of them were $5 a minute. You know, crazy. Obviously, I had more than 15 minutes on it, but you get the point. Let's see. Cell phone. My mother's parents had a party line with John Nickenberg. Russ said each family had a different ringtone on the party line. They might have. I never paid much attention to it, you know. And it must have, because we never got calls from people that didn't want to talk to us. So, I mean, they said if they were on the line and you picked up, that was the first time. Was anybody talking? If they did, you know, you'd wait and then try again later. But I don't remember. I was just a kid, so I don't remember a lot of that stuff. But I do remember the party line, you know. It was kind of weird and cool at the same time, but yeah, I don't know how many of you guys, probably a lot of you did. Remember when they first came out with the cell phone, right before they came out with them, they were looking for investors. I was getting, you know, emails, you know, do you want to invest in the cell phone technology? And I'm thinking, what the fuck is this? So I looked into it, I'm thinking, there ain't no way that's going to go on. Boy, that was a big mistake, wasn't it? If I'd have jumped in on the cell phone industry at the time, I'd probably be a rich man right now, but I made a bad call and didn't think it would go anywhere. I had no clue. That was a big mistake, wasn't it? Well, that's true, Derek. We all had that stuff. Like I said, I had a 35 millimeter film camera, the Minolta. Beautiful camera. I love that thing. That was before the digital came out. And I also had a, what the hell they call them, little shit. I can't think of the name for them now. I think they call you on, but it would just leave a message on it. And you'd get it, you'd have to find a phone call. The phone to make the call. I can't remember the call now, but yeah, I had all that stuff. I had a big bag full of lenses and filters. I had all kinds of crap. I had a couple $1,000 worth of camera equipment. And, you know, when I wound up selling it all to go to digital, I didn't get much for it. Now I've got the Nikon, but and it's a great camera too. I love it. As I said, you can keep your cell phones. I use the Nikon to take real pictures with. There's a Canon EOS. That was a good camera. Yeah, Russ has got a Nikon, so it's still sitting on his desk. A beeper, that's what it was. I couldn't really go. I carried a beeper for a few years too. You know, if it looked important, I remember there was phone booths all over the place. I think at the time they were a dime, and they finally went up to a quarter. But you know, I looked like somebody I better call them back, and if I had a pay phone, call them back, and you know. But like I said, it wasn't a big thing. You know, I didn't feel. None of us thought that we needed to have a telephone on us 24/7. Like I said, sometimes you just kind of get away from that. I want to get away from the TV. I want to get away from the phones. I just want to get in the car and drive around and relax. You know, you can't do that now because you take the damn phone with you. And the phone does everything. It's your TV. It's your computer. It's your phone. It's your camera. You know. So I kind of have an issue with that, but that's me. You know. There you go. Stormy Sky Dave says, I used my Canon today for photos on E and LS's layout. I use my phone for videos. Well, see now, the Nikon takes videos too. I'm sure the EOS does. The only problem with a Nikon is it doesn't autofocus in video mode. So you got to constantly mess with the focus while you're videoing. That's great if you're stationary, but if you're moving around, it's a real pain in the ass. I've got a camcorder too, or my phone, that I can use for moving shots and moving videos. That's the only problem I have with the Nikon, that it doesn't autofocus in video mode. I don't know why it doesn't, but I've checked and there's no feature for that. That might just be the model I have. I don't know. I can't remember what model it is now, but I got lenses for it. I've got a big camera bag for it too. I've got short lenses. I've got a super telephoto lens. It's about a foot long. Yeah, I've got filters. I've got a flash attachment for it if I ever need it. Got the remote for it so I can shutter it remotely. I got a lot of cool stuff with it, you know. And I love it. You know, like I said, when I first got it, it's like, oh man. Because I've always been kind of a photographer anyway, you know. And that was a big thing for me. Derek says the beeper sucked. You always had to find a payphone, and you had to call the person back. I have to admit that having a cell phone gave us the freedom to have a phone for emergencies. That's true. But unfortunately, I mean, I have friends that bought flip phones. They keep in the glove box of their car. They're fully charged. And they never use the phone except for an emergency. I mean, Diane, she won't even give the number to anybody, you know. They said, why don't you give me your cell phone? I said, oh, no, I'm not giving that cell phone number to nobody. You know. You want to call me, you call me at home, and if I'm not there, leave a message on the answering machine, and I'll get back to you. And I'm okay with that, you know. That I can understand, but like I said, she's an elderly woman, so, you know, if she breaks down, obviously, she's going to have to call a wrecker or something to help her. So having the cell phone in the glove box is a brilliant idea. And initially, that's what I did, too. The first cell phone I got, it mostly stayed in the car. And then for some reason, it's like, oh, I need this thing everywhere. You know, and here we are today with our stupid smartphone. Let's see, Russ wants to know. Well, that's true, Derek, you don't, but it's just the idea. I mean, fortunately, not many people call me. You know, I'm not very popular. And I like it that way, you know. I see people on the road, their phone is in their ear the whole trip. I have Bluetooth anyway, so if I do get a call that's important, it runs through the car radio, but I'm not holding the phone. But realistically, it's very rare that someone will call me, you know. And if I don't recognize the number, I won't answer it anyway. Russ asks, what are you using for your stream camera? I'm using a Logitech. It's a just a regular cam, computer cam. Mounted on a tripod right in front of me, and that works great for me. I think it's a Logitech. It's a 1080. I think it's a 920 or something like that. I can't remember the model number. I paid like $70 for it. It's not bad. I've got other ones here that are cheap versions of the webcams. Most of them are $8 to $10 from Amazon. And you know, you look at these pictures like this one here. It takes a beautiful picture. You know, it's all 1080. Got the East cam here. Got the West cam. These are $8 and $10 webcams. So, not a big deal, you know. But for me, yeah, I've got the Logitech, the better one, because I figured, well, you know, I don't want to lay it down on me halfway through a live stream. I mean, the other ones are good. They're holding up fine. I've had them for going on 3 years now. So anytime I'm live, they're on. So you know, they're technically on all the time, but they're not actually being used until I open up OBS. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate that. You're popular with us. Yeah, John, that's true. I have not seen a working payphone probably in the last 2 years. They're out there, but they don't work. There's CNL lines. Hey, Curtis, what's going on? Well, we were talking about trains, and we actually did an assembly of my tractor crawler with the crane hang on it. I did the assembly online. You'll have to go back and watch the replay. You remember, these are the ones you saw. I've improved it tremendously. I made some changes to it that make it look better and easier to assemble. So check out the video on there, you know, the live stream, and you'll see it. They're still going for $15 as a kit. So I should have the instructions ready probably the next week or so. Curtis says he texted me. And I'm having a lot of problems with my phone lately. I don't know if it came through or not. No, it did. You might want to try texting me again just for fun. Or even emailing might be better. I don't know what's going on with the phone. I mean, I've had this thing for what, 2 years now? I may have to get another one. I'll probably get a different brand next time though, but it's a good phone when it works. But lately I have to literally reboot it every morning, otherwise I can't receive or make calls. It's weird. I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway, yeah, shoot me an email or another text. Probably better do an email because I may or may not get your text. I'm having all kinds of problems today with tech for some reason. I restarted my chat like 4 times now, I think, 3 or 4 times. I locked up again. Fuck it, I'm not even going to restart it. But then the internet went out right as I started my stream. Had to run next door to the main house, reboot the modem, come back here, reboot everything else. Finally got on. I think I got on like 10 after 6. It's just been one of them days. Oh, you know, it is what it is. In fact, I might as well just shut this down right now. Close it out. I don't need it. So, Ah, we're getting close to 10 o'clock. I should probably call tonight anyway. And let's see. First thing I did update the live stream schedule. And let's see. Now we've got tomorrow we got Cousin Benny Maybe, DNSF set 6951. Friday 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. On Saturday at 9 a.m. we have Back on Track. Monday we have Off the Tracks Monday at 7 p.m. After that we have Tom's Trains and Things on YouTube at 8 p.m. We also have Tom's Trains and Things on Rumble, simulcast somewhat. Same deal, Monday at 8 p.m. Tuesday we have On Track Tuesday at 7 p.m. Humanity Junction at 8 p.m. And Second Section with Heath at 9 p.m. And then Wednesday we have Cab Crew Wednesday, that's on at 8 p.m. Also on Wednesday at 8 p.m. is Workbench Wednesday on both YouTube and Rumble. That's Tom's Trains and Things. Thursday morning at 9 a.m. in the morning is Morning Brew with Dave Thurber. Then me at Thursday at 6 o'clock. That's the list, and I think I got everybody for a change. I remembered to add Second Section on there this time. So that's where that goes, and I think I'm about run out for the night anyway. Anyway, as always, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We always have fun, talk about a lot of weird shit. And I want all you to be safe, have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. And for anybody doing live streams, we'll see you as it comes. And that's it. I'm not going to be able to post any of your replies up on screen because, the damn chat quit. I'm going to have to work on that again, too. And like I said, I don't think it'll probably be the third week I'm going to do StreamYard. And I'll invite a guest on or guests. And we'll have fun with that. But I'm going to do that once a month. I actually can't do it much more than that because the free StreamYard limits you to 20 hours per month. Well, whatever long I'm going 5 hours here. That's your 20 hours, 4 weeks. If there's an extra Thursday in the month, they wouldn't be able to use it anyway. And plus, there are times we actually go later than this. So, it's a good backup, and like I said, to bring a guest on. But I still prefer to use the OBS. I just gotta figure out this stupid chat thing. There's another system out there. I think I have it bookmarked on the other computer. I'm gonna look at it and see if I can get it working. And I might use that because this Twidget, it has bugs in it. It doesn't matter what I do, how I set it up, it still screws up. And I have no patience for that. So, it is what it is. Well, thanks, Stormy. I appreciate that, Dave. Yeah, I'll get the package out in the mail tomorrow, Thomas. Don't you worry. John, we'll see you later. Thanks for hanging out. Derek says, Big Jim, it was a great show, and the Dozer is a real cool kit. Thanks for sharing your time and thoughts with us. Well, hey, what else could I have to do? Hey, I was only have fun. That's all that matters. Thomas, you gonna be Freight Car Friday? I don't know what happened. I tuned into yours last Friday. And I guess you were having all kinds of technical difficulties because you started a second stream. I went over to that. Nothing happened. I don't know what's going on, but I would suggest that you test it before you do it again. And make sure it's actually going to work. I know there were a few other guys that were waiting too. There were 3 of us on it that were waiting. Nothing ever came up, so I'm not going to put it on the list until you get it sorted. If you get it sorted out, I'll put you on the list. Yeah. So we'll see what happens this coming Friday. Alrighty. Well, it's tomorrow, right? Are you going to go on tomorrow, hopefully? Yeah, Thomas says I'm having trouble with the internet. Well, hopefully you get it sorted out because, you know, if you can't go live, you know, no point in anyone's trying to watch. Well, hopefully you get that sorted out. Let's see, I'm going to try. I hope that. That's good. And Derek says that repair guy is really milking that job. Must be paid by the hour. Yeah, he's still out there. I mean, hell, I don't even know if he ever goes home to eat or sleep or anything. Yeah, I know. It's because I'm not facing the mic. I have to look over here at the laptop, which is away from the mic. So that probably came up a little bit. Now I'm speaking directly into it. I didn't put the heart on there. I see it. It's floating. I don't know what the hell's going on. How can it be back when I disabled it? It shouldn't be there. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I think they're just screwing with us. That's what I think. Anyway, guys, I'm going to put the outro on, and we'll see you next week. Stay out of trouble. Remember to play with your trades because, that's what we do. So, we'll see you. Let's see, where's the outro? Here we go. Guys, have a good weekend, man.